Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. I forgot who I am for a second. Um, but yeah, I was just typing. I just kind of got all confused. Yeah, so here I am, and I'm live with Armin Navabi, my friend Armin. Armin, what's up?
Hey,
How
I
you doing?
missed you. I missed talking to you.
Me too. It's been a very long time since we last talked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, it
I
has
thought you
been.
probably don't want to talk to me anymore because I'm no longer an atheist. So.
Oh no, we were bragging about. Didn't I don't know if me and Susanna were bragging about how we are different from other people who are shaming you because we like to because one of the attributes of a cult is that the exit is difficult, and anybody who wants to leave a group, you shame them or you point at them or you try to make it difficult for them to leave, and we don't want to do that. And we appreciate, like, we don't have to agree on everything for us to appreciate each other's activism. So we were like, we're better than other people who are shaming AP. We actually appreciate AP. We're we don't care if he agrees with us on everything or not. So we were virtue signaling over how how we're better than other atheists for not shaming you.
That's awesome. No, I'm joking. I think I actually saw you guys talking about it, and I thought, and I also had D Boudreau. She's always here, always working over at you guys' live streams, and also here. And she was also telling me how Atheist Republic appreciates me, even if I'm not an atheist, and all that. So, so
I mean,
yeah.
it's weird to even say even if you're not an atheist, as
Even
that
if you're not an
matters.
atheist.
Like,
Yeah, there
why
are
would that matter?
some people have a problem with this. For example, Matt Dillahanty. Despite me working with him in the past, just because I said I believe now, he's like, "Whoa, how dare you? Prove it!" It's like, "What? Prove what, man? Like, all I said is I'm happy now." And he's like, "Prove it." You want me to prove that I'm happy?
Weird. By the way, now we share another thing in common. Matt Dillahunty hates me.
Really?
Hates me. Oh my god,
Why?
so much, yeah. Because I talked to David Silverman on the show.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
He was trying to get everyone to not talk to me, and then I became a host on the show that he was a host on. So that backfired.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, but anyway, so we want to talk about. There's a lot going on right now. A lot going on between Israel and Iran. A lot going on between other countries and Iran. Um, Several days ago, Israel started a massive operation to finally put an end to the threats of the Islamic regime that has taken Iran captive. Lots of us have been following it very closely. Armin, you were just on vacation, right, when this happened?
Yes, and right when I left vacation, I told my everybody in my audience that, guys, please, I know Israel is about to attack Iran. Somebody please contact Bibi. Let him know, just wait for another 10 days. I'll be back. And I just knew it. I told people, I know this attack is going to happen while I'm on vacation. And it happened while I was on
Terrible,
vacation.
terrible timing, terrible timing. But at least it's happening. So, before we get further into it, Armin, you are Iranian. You are proudly Iranian. You are you have a big Iranian history. You have lots of connections to Iran. You talk about Iran a lot. You are an Iranian abroad. You are not welcome in Iran because the Islamic regime is in charge of Iran. But I know that you share that you are very well connected with lots of other Iranians and so on. What are your initial thoughts about what is going on so far between Israel and the Islamic regime?
Well, a lot of us Iranians saw this coming. I mean, we have an English channel, and I also have the Persian channel for Atheist Republic. And on the Persian channel, basically, most of us saw this coming. But what we didn't see this coming is we knew it was going to be amazing. We knew it was going to be masterful, because this is what we now expect from Israel and its operations. But I think even us were surprised about how masterfully this was done, and I think even Israelis, even the IDF itself was surprised, to be honest. I mean, they said they were surprised because they said that they managed to take out 3 times the number of the um, heads of IRGC than they anticipated. So they were surprised as well. Within the first couple of hours, basically the most important people within the Islamic Republic died. They just came
Yeah.
within. They knew exactly where they were sleeping. So let me tell people this. A lot of people, when you say the Islamic Republic, they think of Ali Khamenei, but when I think the Islamic Republic, I mostly think IRGC, right? So every single one of the top officers of the IRGC were taken out within a few hours after Israel moved into the aerial space of Iran. So basically that is a semi-toppling of the regime already. But yeah.
Can you very briefly tell everyone what IRGC stands for and what it exactly
So
is?
So it's the Sepah. Iran has two main military units. One of them is the Artesh. The other one is the Sepah Pasdaran Jamhuri Islami, which is in English they call it IRGC. And the Artesh is the army that was inherited from the Shah's time, from the Pahlavi time, which is why a lot of Iranians are hoping at some point we could use the Artesh to bring back stability after the toppling of the regime. The IRGC is the more ideological body, military army, and the goal of the IRGC is not to protect Iran at all. That's the goal of the Artesh, supposedly, but the IRGC is meant to export the revolution, is to protect the Islamic revolution, and to basically take over the world. That's the point of the IRGC. It's not even to protect the borders of Iran or the Iranian people. And they control I think 2/3 of Iran's economy. So they're not just a military unit; they're everywhere. They control the media, they control the economy, they control everything. Basically, the politics. The IRGC is now more powerful than the office of the supreme leadership itself. They control everything, and basically, they are the Islamic Republic.
Nice. So, by the way, I just want to point out something very, very, very funny. So, I'm checking the Tel Aviv skyline right now. Let's see, what time is it in Tel Aviv right now? In Tel Aviv, it is currently 3:15 at night. Yesterday, the Islamic regime in Iran promised that there's going to be a big surprise, and the world will remember it for centuries. Now, everyone expected that night for something to happen. Nothing happened, so people thought maybe it was the wrong night. So people were now waiting for this night. So far, nothing is happening tonight either. So, what are they doing?
It was a missile that they used for the first time, and it was a missile that was more powerful than their other missiles, but it didn't really. They acted like it's going to change everything in their favor, and they used it. And to be honest, it was more powerful than the other missiles that they had, but it didn't really change much.
Nothing really
It
happened.
didn't change nothing
So
really happened.
that's it.
But this is what they always do. No, but that's what they always do. They always exaggerate. they always like in an extreme way. Like they don't exaggerate a little bit. In Iran we call it rajas khuni, which means like I don't know how to explain it, but it's the Shia way. It's the Shias do it all the time, more than Sunnis. They just exaggerate and they minimize how much they've been hurt. I'm constantly following right now the pro-regime accounts in Persia. Okay, if you just follow them and nobody else, they have by now destroyed Israel. Like if you just follow them, you think that Israel has failed in their attacks on the Islamic Republic, and Tel Aviv has been turned into rubble, and all of Israel is about to be destroyed any minute now, and this war is going completely in the direction of the Islamic Republic. That's what they actually think. It's unbelievable. They're delusional.
I mean, just looking at the account of Khamenei here, The Zionist regime's malicious attack on our country took place at a time when Iranian officials were indirectly engaged in negotiations with the US side. There was no indication on the part of Iran that signaled a military move. Dude, we literally have the video. Literally have a video from last month where he gets together and he's dismissively talking about how the US is in no position to say anything. And then he encourages once again his followers in the audience to shout like zombies, death to America, death to England, death to Israel, and that Iran will do whatever they want to do, and so on. So clearly no intention to actually get anywhere with negotiations. Clearly, once again, destructive language. And then they say the harm the US will suffer will definitely be irreparable if they enter this conflict militarily. Shut up, man. Nothing is going to happen. It was already suspected that the US was involved.
Have you seen? Do you know that Monty Python part where you keep cutting the guy's legs and he says like it's nothing but a scratch?
Yes.
Like we're going to defeat you. That's basically what's happening. That's the Shia way, basically.
Here, the Zionist enemy has made a grave mistake and committed a serious crime, and it must be punished. Nothing is going to happen, man. Nobody believes you. Nobody believes you, man.
I bet you they're going to say that until like the very last minute. I mean, even after the regime falls, these people are going to be like, any minute now, we're going to destroy the Zionist state forever. Like they're never going to quit being this delusional until they're dead.
What the hell is this?
Look, they're using AI now. Look at that. They're using AI because this
help from Allah. Just because they can't do anything, they're now posting about help from Allah. You know.
Yeah. Only you will help only from Allah only if you make AI. AI flaws.
We must give a strong response.
A lot of Shias are now making AI videos about what they think is going to happen any day now, and that's the only way they could see their dreams coming true, with AI videos and AI images.
It's so ridiculous, man. So ridiculous. I feel like at this point, if we have confirmed, like if I don't know who's posting these ridiculous things, but it's just ridiculous nonsense. I mean, it's not him sitting there and tweeting this, obviously, but I feel like if we had like
no,
if
but
we
he
actually
said those things.
Oh yeah,
he said so. What the person that is the admin of this account, what they do is when he makes a speech, they go take parts of it and they turn it into tweets. So these are things he actually said.
Well. What a dummy. What a dummy. Then life will definitely become bitter for them. Dude, I literally have the skyline of Tel Aviv right here. Look. It still looks the same. This is live right now from Tel Aviv. Nothing is happening.
You know the number of people who died in Israel, every single one of them is a tragedy.
Yeah.
But the number is much lower than what Israel itself anticipated. They were ready for a lot more casualties.
Yes, there was a report. I mentioned this yesterday as well. So there was a report. The military, before they launched the operation, made an assessment, and according to the assessment, in the worst case, there would be the number of casualties, or the number of deaths of Israelis in the worst case could reach between 800 and 4,000 or something like that. But they said they decided even if it gets that bad, the future could be much worse if we don't act right now. So they decided to act, but this was like one of the worst case expectations. But they did expect more damage. They did expect more casualties and all that. So far, Iran is doing much, much worse than Israel thought they would. So the Islamic regime is doing a horribly poor job right now at fighting back.
Well, because one thing that happened was Israel somehow managed to send some false information to the officials within the Islamic Republic, thinking that they're getting intercepting messages by Israelis, and they managed to somehow get all of the people responsible for the rockets. Basically, they have like I don't know how to translate that to English, but all the people responsible for that unit to meet with each other in one place, and basically they blew up that place. And everybody responsible for all the main people responsible for controlling the missiles were basically dead all together. So you can't even find somebody to replace them. That's why it was so difficult for the regime to come up with a proper response at the beginning, because there was nobody anymore to to manage this whole thing. It was that's why, because even if they took one of the head, there were other people who could manage it, but they managed to get them all in one go.
Yep, they assassinated and took out some of the most important figures on day one already, and then on day two, they did some really sophisticated action. Like the details, I still want to read about the details later on once more is known. But as far as we know, the Mossad was deeply inside Iran. And was
Right.
was already operating directly inside in the field, watching all the
Right.
significant people, where they are at what times, and also established, I think, operations inside Iran, which they directly launched. Like they had an undercover front for where they operated drones from and all that, which they launched really.
They had undercover commandos already there who are like basically going and killing, assassinating people while they're running around. They had a drone base set up there in Iran long time before. They also have a lot of people within the regime that are spies. So this is why the regime officials are not talking to each other, because even if they think you're not a spy, they don't know if your help is a spy. So they cannot talk to each other over electronics, because that is being heard by Mossad, but they cannot even meet, because even if they're being careful, they don't know if that other person is being careful, or if that other person, because they know that Mossad has people within the regime at the highest levels. At the highest levels. So some people are saying that Khamenei is in hiding, and nobody knows where Khamenei is except Mossad. So nobody within the Iranian regime knows where Khamenei is, but Mossad, probably the person next to Khamenei right now is Mossad, the guy that he trusts the most. That's how bad the situation is. But everybody is pointing at everybody else as somebody not to be trusted, and that's why it's so hard for them to manage things, because they don't know who is a spy and who's not a spy. So everybody is doubting everybody.
They're probably
And
shivering in fear right now. I mean, they're trembling. But they are the most important figures at the head of the IRGC. They died on day one. The regime people, they died. I mean, I would be a little bit concerned if I was part of the Islamic regime right now.
which is so good, because these are the people who brought so much fear and anxiety upon the Iranian people. These
Yeah.
are the people who made the Iranian people constantly fear for their lives, constantly witness the death of their loved ones, and now they're getting the taste of their own medicine. And they're getting this from Israel, something that the Iranian people could not ever dream of doing this themselves. That's why so many Iranians are thankful to Israel, because never in 1,000 years Iranians, like, even if they did protests, they showed up in millions in the streets, they wouldn't be able to do this. I mean, they tried they were brave, they tried so hard, and they never managed to be able to do anything remotely close to this. Only Israel was able to do this for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have messages, I believe, from Iranians and
Right.
and also Israelis, I believe, that
Yes.
we want to talk about, right? I know that you showed some of those videos earlier when you went live on your channel, but we want to talk about them. We want to amplify them because we want to build bridges. We want to tackle some of the misconceptions that are online that people are talking about. We want to fight and tackle this whole idea that Israel is somehow fighting against the Iranian people, uh, and we want to point out the appreciation that the Iranian people actually have for what is happening to the Islamic regime. So, do you want to go ahead and start talking about those and playing those clips?
And thank you so much for giving me a chance to do this. These messages were sent to me directly on Telegram by Iranians, and then I was getting so many of them. I thought I should ask Israelis to send me messages on Telegram for Iranians. So I have a I don't know if I could show you all of them, but I have some messages from Iranians to Israelis, thanking them, and then I started collecting. So we have two channels: Atheist Republic English and Atheist Republic Persian. On the Persian channel, I told people to send me their messages for Israelis, for me to go on the English channel and show it to Israelis, because we have Israelis following us on the English channel. And then on the English channel, I told the Israelis there to send me messages for Iranians, so then I could go translate it on the Persian channel and play it for them there and translate it into Persian for them there. So this was a
Nice.
kind of beautiful bridge that we were building between Iranians and Israelis. But so the vast majority of the messages by Iranians to Israelis was messages of gratefulness and thanking them for basically taking out their enemies, the occupiers of Iran. And a lot of messages by Israelis to Iranians was a message of unity, a hope for their freedom, and also mentioning that the war against the Islamic Republic is obviously not a war on the Iranian people. So yeah, so let me know when you want to get started. I could start. Some of them are the audio is not very good, so I will try to do my best to amplify, like the boost their audio or something, so that maybe we could understand them. So the ones that I have right now, the ones that are hiding their faces, they are Iranians inside Iran, and the ones who are not hiding their faces, they're Iranians outside of Iran.
I see.
Right.
I
So I
see.
have both. Yeah.
Okay. Do you just want
So
me to
let me
put
know
them
which one.
you can't do that, right? I have to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I can't do that. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I should give you
So
the rights. Do you just want me to go one by one, or?
yeah, sure. So the one that I have on a screen share of this young woman,
This
that
one?
one is the reason. Yeah, that one, because the audio is low. I'm doing a screen share so I could boost the audio with VLC. So maybe we could start with this one.
Okay.
Let me know. Do you have the audio?
Uh,
Oh wait,
no, you're not
hold on.
sharing audio.
Yeah, I forgot to share audio. Hold on, screen share. I have to share the audio. Let me try this again. There. Now can you bring it back up?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try this again.
Shalom. First of all, and before everything, I am deeply sad and sorry for the citizens we have lost, both in Iran and Israel, and I send to their families my condolences. Hope their souls rest in peace. I truly wish this tragedy had never happened, but as long as Islamic Republic exists, the situation will like it was. So I just hope that the perpetrator of all these horrors collapses as soon as possible, and we don't witness any more loss. Not only Islamic Republic is not Iran, but also it's the common enemy of both Iran and Israel. For almost half a century, my people have been in an unequal war against this execution dictatorship. Every day the situation becomes more tense and we have to fight more just to survive. There is no security, no safety. Even in this situation right now, I do not feel threatened by Israel, but like every other day, our life is in danger from Islamic Republic.
So that part was very interesting, because she's in Iran. She's telling us that even though right now Israeli bombs are being dropped on where she lives, she still feels more threatened by the Islamic Republic where she lives than the bombs that are being dropped.
This regime that has occupied our country and turned it into a prison has made us prisoners and hostages in our homeland. Israel has only targeted and eliminated these occupiers and murderers whose hands are stained with the blood of Iranians, Israelis, and Gazans. This war is between Israel and Islamic Republic, not with Iran or the Iranians. Maybe the world doesn't see it now, but Israel is really saving the world from this great evil. So, massive thank you to the man of his words, Bibi, and everyone who has launched this chain cutlet diner in Iran, and the best and the most delicious, the yummiest cutlets in the entire galaxy cannot be found anywhere else but here. Because the best cutletters cutlet them. The big Netanyahu. And my dearest thanks to King Reza Pahlavi, our one and only irreplaceable alternative, Javicha. And last but not least, forever and always, women life freedom and rising lion. Long life Israel, long life Iran. Peace.
Wow.
Okay.
Like, that's so simple, but it kind of makes me really happy, you know. Wow. Javed Shah means long live the Shah, right? Or yeah.
Long live the king. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is from a woman who is directly inside Iran.
Yeah.
And she describes that the people are taken hostage by the Islamic Republic, the Islamic regime, We also know that the majority of the people, the vast majority of the people, I believe, inside Iran, despise the Islamic regime. They want to get rid of it. Wow.
Yeah. So this was sent to me on my Telegram account, and I have a lot more. So do you want to do second video?
Yes.
The number 2 down there. Yeah. So again, this one, he's hiding his face. Again, the third one is not hiding his face because it's in.
این جنگ اسرائیل با جمهوری اسلامی مرسی که بیبی داری به مردم ما کمک میکنی.
Oh, you can pause it too.
Yeah, I can pause it. So he's saying that this war between Israel and the Islamic Republic, thank you, Bibi, that you're helping us.
مرسی که بیبی داری به مردم ما کمک میکنی.
Oh, thank you, Bibi. Thank you, Bibi, for helping our people.
واقعا یه کاری بکن که این مردم همینجوری که پشتت هستن همینجوری بمونن.
Please continue doing what you're doing so that these people will continue being behind you.
و از قبل که اطلاع میدی خیلی عالیه.
Oh, and he's saying it's great that you keep telling us where you're bombing before you bomb them. Thank you for those announcements.
Thank you, Bibi. ادامه بده مردم به پشت شما میان مردم.
He's saying thank you, Bibi. People will come behind you. People will show up.
الان خستن حتما.
Like they're tired right now. That's why they're not showing up, but they will show up.
مرسی بیبی. Thank you. جاوید شاه.
Yeah, thank you, Bibi. Long live the king. So when they say Javid Shah, this is basically their support for Pahlavi, for Prince Reza Pahlavi and his father Muhammad Reza Shah, and basically the entire Pahlavi dynasty. So a lot of Iranians, I would say most Iranians would want to go back to the Pahlavis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I showed poll results today and or yesterday. And those were from several years ago, and they were also kind of from the organization Gaman or something. There are also different polls that have even higher results. And I also showed the video from the Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi yesterday on here. So there is a lot of
fantastic! Thank you.
There's a lot of support. We can also play that later on here. I think I want to play that once again.
Yeah, sure.
Because I think that's very, very, very good. People should be aware of it.
Yeah, but by the way, the support for Reza Pahlavi has increased significantly since that Gaman poll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There are also some polls other than the Gaman poll that said like that he had even more support, like significantly
80%.
more. Yeah, 80%. I'm not sure. I didn't share those because I didn't. I wanted to ask first, but what's with those polls? Like, do that people actually want him?
Yeah, I think. I mean, I forgot where it was. There was a reputable place that shared the 80% number. I forgot where it was, but there was a really reputable publication. It's not hard for me to believe that it's 80%.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Wow. All right. What do you think about
Go
this?
to the third one. Oh,
let's do that. But
this for the Atheist Republic channel.
Oh, hold on. Let me pause it. Go to the beginning. What were you going to ask me a question?
Yeah, I was gonna. So Goldie just shared something. By the way, I asked her to join us. She said she's not available tonight, but she will be happy to join me tomorrow live. So you are also invited, Armin, if you want to join that conversation. We can have a conversation.
Yeah, I would love to.
She does.
That would be amazing.
She's doing an awesome job. But she just shared this. The Imperial Air Force Pilots Association of Iran is urging the Artesh Iranian military to defect from the terrorist Islamic Republic and join the people. Pilot Colonel Mustafa Babayan conveys their message. Have you seen this?
Yeah, I saw this. But is he? I think is he outside of Iran?
I don't know.
با درود به شما و درود به ملت غیور ایران. اعضای انجمن خلبانان نیروی هوایی شاهنشاهی ایران همبستگی کامل خود را با پیام اخیر شاهزاده رضا پهلوی اعلام می‌داریم. پیام ایشان خطاب به نیروهای مسلح برای پیوستن به مردم ایران در مبارزه‌ای بر حقشان علیه رژیم سرکوبگر جمهوری اسلامی است. پیامی است برخواسته از میهن دوستی، شرافت و دفاع از ایران عزیز من. ما که روزی در کنار شما لباس خدمت به وطن را به تن کرده بودیم، خوب می‌دانیم که این لباس تنها یک یونیفرم نیست، بلکه مسئولیتی سنگین و مقدس در برابر مردم، نه در خدمت به رژیم ویرانگر. پیام شاهزاده رضا پهلوی فراخوانی برای شورش نیست، بلکه دعوتی است برای ایستادگی در سمت تاریخ و در کنار مردم برای آینده آزاد، مستقل و دموکراتیک. ما به عنوان برادران شما نگران حال آینده ایران و شما و خانواده هاتون هستیم. مردم ایران خانواده شما هستند و اکنون چشم امیدشان به شجاعت، وفاداری و انتخاب شماست. اکنون زمان آن فرا رسیده است که مأموریت واقعی یک سرباز را بیاندیشید و از ملت ایران دفاع کنید.
Wow.
So this is the Artesh. Remember that we have the IRGC and the Artesh. So the hope is that as soon as we see the government collapsing, that the Artesh joins the people under the umbrella of Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi. That's what we're hoping for. That's what. And by the way, guys, in the messages that I have to for you today, one of the people who sent me a video message supporting Israel is a man wearing the Artesh uniform while wearing a mask. Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
So we'll
Very,
get to
very
that one
nice.
as well. Maybe I should play that after these number 4, huh?
Yeah. Okay, let's get back to your message. Okay. We're doing this one here, I
Recordings for the
believe.
Atheist Republic.
Yeah, let's go and we go to the beginning. So again, the ones who are not hiding their faces are the Iranians outside of Iran. And he's speaking English, so I don't need to translate. So let's listen to this.
Hey everyone, I'm recording this for the Atheist Republic channel. My name is Amir Hossein. I am an Iranian. Recently, the Israeli military has conducted a military operation inside Iran, assassinating key IRGC officials and destroying nuclear facilities of the Islamic Republic. As an Iranian, I support this. Thank you, Israel. The people of Iran do not support the Islamic regime. We want a secular, free Iran. We support Israel assassinating IRGC officials and destroying the Islamic Republic. The people of Iran stand with Israel, and we want Israel to stand with us. We hope to achieve this goal under the leadership of Prince Reza Pahlavi. Thank you all.
Nice.
Yeah. So by the way, number 30 that I just uploaded, that's the guy with the Artesh uniform. You see that down there?
Oh, yeah.
By the way, this guy is my friend. So
Uh,
so the audio on this one is really bad, but I could translate for you guys. Okay, so that's he's wearing the Artesh uniform and he's wearing a mask. So let's see what he has to say. So he's saying salute to all Israelis. Oh, so he's saying salute to all Israelis and also to Netanyahu, who single-handedly is standing in front of all the terrorists. And he's also saying if America joins the fight would be much easier. So he's hoping for that as well. So he's saying, I want to mention that nothing is worse, and I emphasize absolutely nothing is worse than this dirty Islamic Republic regime staying in power. Nothing is worse than that. Like most Iranian people, he means, are happy right now. He's saying the only thing that the Islamic Republic has progressed in is in its propaganda. And that's the only reason why it has survived for 40 years. The Islamic Republic is right now paying a lot of celebrities in Iran to come and say no to war. Right now, we're seeing some celebrities in Iran coming out with they're posting against the war and saying that he's saying they're being paid by the Islamic Republic. That's true, actually. The Islamic Republic sometimes use celebrities in Iran to try to control the masses, and he's saying they're getting paid by. However, why should we say no to a war that will end in the fall of the Islamic Republic?
جناب شاهزاده رضا پهلوی میتونه باعث ایجاد اتحاد بین مردم ایران و اسرائیل بشه.
Saying the Prince Reza Pahlavi, if he comes, he could cause the unity between the Iranian people and the Israeli people. And then we could have a peaceful Middle East with everybody. And he's hoping for a free Iran. He's saying in hopes of a free Iran.
Wow. Nice.
So, yeah, we got a video message from somebody serving in the army in Iran as well.
That's very significant. Very, very significant. So you're wearing army uniform and sending directly a message in support of Israel doing this and bombing the Islamic regime. People really don't like the Islamic regime. Iranians really don't like it. There are some people who are under the delusion and who spread their propaganda in the West as well, who act as if we were fighting the people of Iran. We're not. There are people who think that the Iranian government is for the Iranian people. It's not. The Iranian people do not want the Islamic regime, and it's time to take it down.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm recording.
Okay, this one. This is also in Iranian outside of Iran, and he speaks good English, so I don't need to translate.
Hi, I'm recording this video for Atheist Republic, and I want to say that as an Iranian, I stand with Israel for your brave actions against the Iranian regime's threats. Thank you, Prime Minister Netanyahu, for taking action that benefits both Israelis and Iranians. Now is the time to stand on the right side of history for the destruction of our common enemy. And this happens by standing with Israel and supporting voices like Reza Pahlavi. Let's build a better future. Thank you.
Yeah,
Nice.
okay. To the point. Nice.
Nice. Yeah. Now you have 13 here.
Before I say anything, I just want to make one thing clear. I'm a normal citizen of Iran. I'm not Jewish, I'm not spy, I'm not with Mossad or Israel. I was born in a Shia family in Iran. And I want to say something that might sound crazy to some people, but I want to say thank you to Israel, to the regime, to the country that have invaded my country, Iran. Because this isn't a war against Iranian people. This is a war against Islamic regime that we are in war with it for so many years. And we couldn't do anything. Not even one thing that Israel did in this couple of days. And we lost so many lives in these years. Of course, this is a war and all of us are scared. But I know that Israel is not going to kill more than 1,500 people in less than 3 days, like Islamic regime did in Aban 6 years ago.
Can you pause?
We are scared.
Yep.
Before she mentioned it, I was going to ask what she's referring to, but this is what she's mentioning. There is the protests, right?
Yeah, it's called the Aban of '98, which was 6 years ago, before the Mahsa protest, where the wave of protest before the Mahsa protest, where Iranians came into the streets and protested, and the government shut down the internet and started shooting directly at the people, and around 1,500 people were killed. And it was so silent, like it didn't got much international attention because they managed to control the information coming out, and 1,500 Iranians were killed in just 3 days.
Yeah, continue, and then we can look at that for a second.
Okay.
War. And this is normal. But we were scared when we were going to the street. Not only for our lives, because the Islamic regime just not gonna kill us. We knew that if they arrest us, they are going to rape us. They are going to hurt us, our family.
That's actually true, because the Iranian regime realized that so many of these protesters are not afraid of dying, but they are afraid of being raped, and they are afraid of their family being threatened. So instead of threatening to kill people, they started using rape as a weapon of war when they arrested these Iranians protesters, and they raped both men and women, by the way, as a way to make sure that other people hear what's happening to the people who get arrested, to use that as a way to discourage protests, because they realize that killing them is not scary enough. And also threatening their families is also another more effective way to threaten people against protesting, more than actually threatening them of dying. Right.
Gonna kill us. We knew that if they arrest us, they are going to rape us. They are going to hurt us, our family, and they are going to abuse our love to our family, to make us do something that we didn't want to make us say something that we didn't believe to. A couple of minutes ago, Israel exploded national TV of Islamic regime, their propaganda machine, and I'm so happy with it. I just have one more request. Please cut the head of the snake. We'll take care of the rest.
She's talking about Khamenei. She's like, please kill Khamenei. That's what she means.
I wonder what would happen if Khamenei was taken out. You know, I mean, Trump says we know exactly where he is, and he can be killed, but we choose not to do it. I'm not sure how much he's serious, how much he's bluffing, but it could be totally true. But what do you think would happen if they actually took Khamenei out?
I think that would be the end of the Islamic Republic. I think that's the only glue that is holding everything right now together. The only thing that is, because the IRGC heads are all taken out. I think if you take out Khamenei, two things might happen. It could spark mass protests, because now people could actually believe that this is the end of the regime. It could also encourage the Artesh to start to join the people. Not the heads of the Artesh, because the heads of the Artesh have been replaced by IRGC people, but the body. There are people within the body of the Artesh who are still loyal to the Pahlavi. So killing Khamenei might encourage an uprising within the Artesh to join the people. But it will basically, if you take out Khamenei, I think there's no going back anymore. I think that would be the end of the Islamic Republic. But I don't know why they're not doing it already. They should just do it.
I want to address a few things here. So there are some people who say stuff like this. I don't know. I want to be nice now when I refute this kind of stuff. So Dov Doverson says, "What's the track record for success for regime change wars? Iraq fail, Afghanistan fail, Libya fail, Syria fail, and now ruled by a guy who was literally the head of an ISIS-affiliated group. Grow up." Okay, now considering that you said grow up, I'm going to be nasty on you. But you also said, "Are those countries more or less stable? If they are less stable and far from functioning democracies, what's the point of regime change? I can exchange cholera for plague, but I'm not better off." Doverson, you don't know what you're talking about.
That's a bullshit take, because first of all, we have regime. What about Germany? What about Japan? Right? Like, what we have regime change with military actions in Germany and Japan. Those turned out very well. And also, I don't know what like with Iraq. You needed to give it more time. Iraq is for the first decade, it was worse than when Saddam was in power. But right now, if you give it enough time, now Iraq is actually better than when it was under Saddam. So obviously, a decade is not long enough for you to make a judgment on Iraq. I think Iraq is actually now better off right now than it was. Yeah, the first 10 years was horrible, but right now Iraq is better off than it was under Saddam. And also Iran, regime change in Iran, I think is more resembling the Japan and Germany regime change with military action compared than Iraq, Libya, and Syria, because of the thirst for a secular democracy by the Iranian people and the anti-Islam view by the Iranian people. So I think when it comes to Afghanistan, for example, the Taliban is actually a true representative of a lot of the views in Afghanistan. That's why you cannot really force a secular democracy on the people in Afghanistan, because it doesn't really represent the people of Afghanistan.
The vast
But Iran
majority
is very different.
of people in Afghanistan want Sharia law. The vast majority of people in Afghanistan actually want Islamic law to rule over them. I'm sorry to say this, and I wish it wasn't true, but that's just the case. According to the opinion polls, the vast majority of the people in Afghanistan always wanted Sharia law and still do. So when the US went in there and started occupying and taking over and forcing Western secular democracy on them, the US was forcing something on them that most people did not want. But the people there wanted Sharia law. When we talk about Iraq is similarly messed up in in a similar way. Syria is once again similarly messed up. Most people there actually, yes, did want to rise up and did want to overthrow Assad's regime and did want to give power to the Islamists to varying degrees. With Iran, we are not talking about the same thing at all. Iran is a completely different thing. You guys who come here and say this is a regime change war, regime change, we can't do the same thing. We are not talking about the same thing. This is not a regime change war. This is a taking out the evil head from those who don't want the head war. The Iranian people do not want Sharia law. The Iranian people do not want to be ruled by Islamists. The Iranian people are vastly against those who are ruling over them. It is a tyranny that we would only help them take out. The Iranians will not replace it with a civil war. Iranians will not replace it with another Islamic regime. They will replace it with their own will. This was not the case in Iraq. It was not the case in Afghanistan. You're confusing things. Also, in this case, we would not have the US jump in and forcibly occupy them for years and control every single street and all that. It wouldn't be like Afghanistan or Iraq at all. It is rather about taking down or taking out the snake and then handing power over to the people. That's it.
These idiots who are against all forms of regime change, if they wanted to be consistent, they should be also against the allies who fought against Nazi Germany.
Well, they probably are.
And causing a regime.
to be honest.
So, yeah, you're right. Actually, never mind. Yeah, you're right.
So I would be careful about that. So I want to quickly address this thing that we just talked about. So the Iranian protests in 2019 and 2020.
Bloody Aban.
You have these protests, Bloody November, Bloody Aban. So these were protests which were all about, caused by increase in fuel goals, social and economic stability, prosecution of corrupt government officials, removal of Ali Khamenei, regime change, and removal of the Islamic Republic of Iran. These were the people of Iran standing up and protesting against the regime. The regime responded to this with mass imprisonments, shutting down the internet, and then shooting into the crowds. Shooting into the crowds. 1,500 people killed per Reuters. More than 1,000 killed per United States Department of State, and so on. This is, of course, according to themselves, only a few hundred were killed, but they killed huge numbers of people for protesting. This is the Islamic regime of Iran.
And this was done under a reformist regime, by the way, a reformist government.
Yeah.
Because a lot of Westerners think like, oh, they're the hardliners and the reformers, and the reformers are the good ones, and the hardliners are the bad ones. But that's not as. In many cases, the so-called reformers are worse than the hardliners.
So some people ask why the Iranian people do not stand up and do not go out there. We have to take into consideration that that the Islamic regime, the Islamic Republic, made sure to cause fear, to inflict fear by directly, ruthlessly, brutally shooting into crowds and mass killing protesters, because according to them, according to the Islamic regime's constitution, the values of the revolution, of the Islamic revolution, the values of Islam, the values of the head of state and the coming Mahdi are more important than whatever the people want. So the people are completely expendable.
They called it Ojabal Wajibat, meaning the highest of all priorities.
Yeah.
In Iran, the regime says that basically defending the regime is more important than anything else, including than the principles of Islam.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more important than the principles of Islam. It's even more important than Sharia law. So God's law, if you have to violate God's law to be able to maintain the Islamic Republic, you have to violate God's law. Which is we had so much fun with this. This is both Khomeini and Khamenei both have written this Ojabal Wajibat in their writings. So we have a lot of fun with it on the Persian channel. For example, we say like, what if for maintaining the Islamic Republic, all Iranians have to have a public orgy? But would that be Islamically allowed? And apparently, yes, that's Islamically allowed. What if for maintaining the Islamic Republic, we have to wait for the Mahdi and we have to gang rape him as soon as he shows up? Is that allowed in Islam for the sake of maintaining the Islamic Republic? That's like, yes, that's Islamically.
Wow.
Not only is it Islamically allowed, it's Islamically mandatory, because they say it's the Ojabul Wajib, but nothing is more important than me. So because this is what I'm not exaggerating, because this is what Khomeini said himself. He said between the life of the Mahdi and maintaining the Islamic Republic is more important. So meaning that if we have to kill the Mahdi to protect the Islamic Republic, we will even kill the Mahdi. That's basically the conclusion of Khomeini's fatwa. Yeah. It's the Ojabul Wajibat. That's what it says.
Now, of course, we're talking about an Islamic leadership here, so it's not going to be very, very, very surprising. But here's actually a page from Khomeini's book. So Khomeini is the spiritual father and founder of the Islamic Republic of Iran. And I myself got a copy online of his book, I think, which is called Wasila something. Which one is that? Something Wasila. He originally wrote it in Arabic, but it was also translated into Persian and all that. So, and it's also available in English. So here is a page about
Persian was not very good. He's the leader of Iran.
Wait, really?
And his Persian was his Persian was terrible.
What?
No, I'm really serious.
How? Isn't he Persian? Isn't he Iranian himself?
He just mostly writes and reads in Arabic. So, yeah. When he spoke Persian, he was like, he sucked at it.
So anyway, here's what he wrote in his book about morality, marriage. This is Khomeini, the founder of the leader of the Islamic Revolution and the founder of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Intercourse with a woman is not allowed unless she attains the age of 9 years, regardless whether the marriage is permanent or temporary. There is, however, no objection in other enjoyments like touching lasciviously, hugging and rubbing the thighs, even with a suckling infant.
So, do you know what rubbing your thighs means?
Yep.
Okay. Do you want to explain it to your audience, or would that be too disgusting?
I don't want to explain it. I leave it up to your.
Yeah.
I don't even want to leave it up to your imagination. I mean, I don't know what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
If a person has had intercourse with a girl before she has attained the age of 9 years, but it has not resulted in ifda, he shall not be subjected to any punishment. Ifda is wait, is that if there's which one is it again? Is that if there's harm or if there's actual intercourse, whatever. Except that he shall be considered to have committed a sin if his intercourse has resulted in ifta, so that the urinal. Okay, here. Oh gosh, yeah. This is what ifta means. So that the urinal, menstrual, or the menstrual and fecal passages have become one, she shall be rendered perpetually prohibited to him, though, according to the more cautious opinion, it shall be so in the latter case. So, if a man marries a little infant and takes her to bed while the girl is still a little infant and suckling, and he just tries to relieve himself sexually through that infant by rubbing her, but then accidentally permanently damages her by breaking her, as described here, then he would have committed a sin and would be liable. But until that point, he can of course do with her whatever he wants. This is the morality of Khomeini.
Right. So basically, this is the leader of the Islamic Republic, the founder of the Islamic Republic, was telling everybody that you could have sexual relationships with girls as young as 0.
Yeah.
Right. As long as so as long as 5 hours old, as long as it's not as long as that sexual interaction with her is not intercourse, you should wait for the intercourse until she's 9. But you could do all sorts of other sexual things with them, as even if they're babies. This is the founder of the Islamic Republic, and this was published by there are books today that are being published by the Islamic Republic with the stamp of the government on it, with these things written on it, attributed to Khomeini. Like, the government is not even denying any of this. So it's crazy that we have this on record, and there are still some people who support this man.
This is the book Tahrir al-Wasila by Ayatollah Khomeini, written as a commentary. Tahrir al-Wasila, clarification of the means of salvation. So this is Islamic ethics. Very, very funny. Islamic ethics that is written by him to clarify matters of morality. And then he also says, by the way, even in that case, even if you have like a little girl that was just born, just came out of the womb, but you're like declared married to that little girl or that little infant, and you just sexually relieved yourself with her and thereby permanently damaged her, even in that case, she shall not cease to be your wife. So if the husband performs intercourse with his wife after she has completed 9 years of age and it results in ifta, she shall neither be rendered unlawful to him, nor shall he be required to pay her. According to a more cautious opinion, he shall be bound to maintain her as long as she's alive, though according to the stronger opinion, he's not bound to do so. So this is the, I know, very, very wonderful topic here, but this is literally the founder of the Islamic Republic that we are dealing with right now. This is the leader that that the members of the Islamic Republic, that the loving leaders of the Islamic Republic admire as their spiritual father, their spiritual leader. They have his photos. They love him. They love this guy. They still follow in his footsteps. They do as he says, or as he said. He's dead now. But nowadays, his successor, Khamenei, is still very much walking in his footsteps. This is a sick, disgusting, messed up, horrible, inhuman, barbaric, inbred regime that needs to be removed.
It seems like it's happening right now.
I hope so.
Yeah, but by the way, guys, I hope
I'm an
everybody in the chat
Iranian
understands.
citizen.
Oh,
sorry.
I hope everybody in the chat understands that if the Islamic Republic falls, that is the greatest blow to Islamism ever. Like, because the Islamic Republic is the source of many other like when it comes to Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, Kataib Hezbollah, Hashd Shabi, Fatimiyun, Zainabiyun, all of these different groups are all around the world. They're all connected to and funded and supported by the Islamic Republic. So the end of the Islamic Republic will be the end of all of these. So this would be Israel is basically doing the whole world a favor by, going for the head of the octopus, and all the tentacles will fall once they target the eye directly. So this is amazing that this is happening. But yeah, go. You want to play this one? Let's play this one.
You can.
So, okay. So this is a video again from Iran sent to me. That's why he's not showing his face. He wrote something on the sand. Okay, so he wrote on the sand in Iran, Am Israel Kai, and also in Hebrew, he wrote it in Hebrew as well, Am Israel Kai, right? So let's watch this.
I'm an Iranian citizen inside Iran. I want to express my gratitude for Israel for eliminating the oppressors in Tehran. Thank you for having eye on the Iranian civilians. Our nations have no reason to have hatred among them. I would also like to express my gratitude and full support to King Reza Pahlavi. He is the only trustworthy person in the transition period.
Wow. That's very nicely done.
Wait, I have a video of a guy that tried to do the lion and the sword, but I think the lion and the sun, but he gave up. So instead he wrote this is actually funny. Hold on. Present video file. Let me do this one. Okay. Can you bring up this one? This new one? Okay, so this guy is from Iran. That's why he changed his voice, so he doesn't want to be recognized by his voice as well. But obviously, this man, whoever he is, he's really bad at drawing, because instead of trying to draw a lion and the sun, he just wrote down lion and sun in the middle of the Iranian flag.
Very nice.
So I know. Okay, but let's listen to his message. It's kind of good.
Shalom to my Jewish brothers and sisters. We, the people of Iran, appreciate you and Prime Minister Netanyahu for weakening the power of Islamic regime. We support you. We are suffering from the actions of Islamic regime, and if you, dear brothers and sisters, help us, we can bring peace to the Middle East together, once and for all. Long live Israel and long live Reza Pahlavi.
Nice. Very, very nice.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to do 16 or 27?
Whatever you want. Which one should I pick? 16?
Yeah, pick 16.
I salute Israel and Prime Minister Netanyahu for striking the heart of the cancer that is the Islamic Republic, not just its tail. The IRGC is nothing but a criminal mafia. Iran's state media is a brainwashing machine. This regime is a rotten corpse, an enemy of its own people. But I ask you, please don't harm innocent civilians. Target those who have destroyed our lives. I proudly stand with Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, and I urge Israel to officially support him. The only national alternative that can save Iran and the region. It's time to end this nightmare.
Nice.
Yeah, that would actually, guys, if Israelis in the chat, if you could get your politicians to recognize Reza Pahlavi as the actual representative of the Iranian people, that would do us a lot of that would be very, very helpful, because I think only Israel would do that before the toppling of the regime right now. If Israel leads the way and because Reza Pahlavi has already met with Netanyahu and they're in good relationships with each other, so it would be really good if Israel does officially recognize Reza Pahlavi as a representative of the Iranian people. That would be a major blow to Islamists everywhere, right? So let's do 27 right now. Okay, so I think I need to translate this one.
میفرستم به مردم اسرائیل.
Okay, hold on. Let's see.
درود میفرستم به مردم اسرائیل.
So he's saying, I salute the people of Israel.
درود میفرستم به بیبی دلها.
I salute the BB of hearts. So I have to explain this to people. A lot of Iranians refer to Netanyahu as the BB of hearts, BB Delha. So that's something that the Iranians who love Netanyahu, that's what they call him.
من برای شما مردم اسرائیل به عنوان یک ایرانی یک پیام دارم.
He's saying, I as an Iranian person have a message for you Israelis.
من ایرانی از حمله هایی که اسرائیل به جمهوری اسلامی، نه به ایران، به جمهوری اسلامی میکنه خوشحالم.
He's saying, me as an Iranian, I am very happy for the attacks that Israel is doing against the Islamic Republic. Against the Islamic Republic, not Iran. So he's saying these attacks are not against Iran, these are attacks against the Islamic Republic.
هم برای شما خوبه هم برای ما.
So he's saying this is good for both us and you. This is good for both of us. It's good for the Iranian people and the Israeli people.
یک تهدید بزرگ رو داره حذف میکنه برای شما اسرائیلی ها.
So he's saying the Israel's government attacking the Islamic Republic is removing a great threat to the Israeli people.
و تهدید بزرگتری رو برای ما ایرانی ها داره حذف.
But it's also removing even a greater threat to us Iranian people.
بله کشته هایی داده.
Saying it's true, we have lost some people, like some civilians, some non-combatants are being killed as well. That's
ولی اگر
true.
جمهوری اسلامی بمونه کشته های خیلی بیشتری خواهد داد.
But if the Islamic Republic stays in power, the numbers of victims, the number of people dying would be even much higher.
برای ایرانی ها و اسرائیلی ها و مردم دیگر منطقه.
Both among Iranians and Israelis and all the other people in the region, we will have more death if the Islamic Republic stays in power.
بله زیر ساخت هایی خراب شده و خراب خواهد شد.
He's saying yes, it's true. Some infrastructure are being destroyed. It's true that Israel's attack is also damaging some infrastructure. That's true.
اما اگر جمهوری اسلامی بماند این زیر ساخت ها بیشتر خراب خواهد شد.
However, if the Islamic Republic stays in power, this infrastructure would be damaged even more.
و ثروت مردم ایران بیش از پیش به هدر خواهد رفت.
And the wealth of the Iranian people would be wasted even much greater than before.
اگر جمهوری اسلامی برود ما شاهزاده ای داریم به نام رضا پهلوی.
Saying if the Islamic Republic goes away, we have a prince with the name Reza Pahlavi.
رضا پهلوی که اگه ایشون تشریف بیارن دست دوستی به اسرائیل خواهند داد.
If he comes to power, if he comes back to Iran, we will have friendship with Israel. He will basically take his hand out for friendship between the Iranians and Israelis.
این کارو کردن.
They already have done this. I think he's referring to the meeting between Reza Pahlavi and Netanyahu.
ما اسرائیلی ها و ما ایرانی ها بهترین دوست ها خواهیم بود.
We Iranians and we Israelis will be the best of friends.
ما اسرائیلی ها و ما ایرانی ها با هم دیگه خیلی قوی خواهیم بود.
We Iranians and we Israelis will be so strong together
در منطقه.
in this region.
و در آخر بیبی نتانیاهو پرنس رضا پهلوی
Nice.
There we go.
Very, very
Right.
nice.
Yeah. By the way, let me know when you want to switch to the message some Israelis sent to Iranians, because I have so many of these messages from Iranians to Israeli. Let me know whenever you want to do the switch. I have unlimited time, but you let me know.
Okay, let's play the next one, and then I want to actually play the I want to once again play the message from Shah Reza Pahlavi. Do you call him Shah, or do you just call him? Do you actually call him Shah right now, or?
Some people do. Some people refer to him as Shahzadeh, which means prince. Some people think like, no, he's not a prince, because legally the Islamic Republic is illegal. So he's actually the king now. He's Shah. He's not Shahzadeh, because if you say he's Shahzadeh, you're recognizing that the Islamic Republic in this past 45 years, you're recognizing them as if this was a thing. So we're not even recognizing this 45 years as a thing. So he's not Shahzadeh, he's Shah. He's not a prince, he's a king. He's the current king. So some people refer to him as a prince, some people refer to him as a king.
Nice. But remind me, what is his own stance on being king? Because I know that he said in the past that he wants to bring democracy and not monarchy to Iran. But then there's also suggestion that it would be just a parliamentary monarchy or something like that. What do you think the plan
So
would be?
he didn't want to be a king, okay? He wanted to. He was for a while against having a constitutional monarchy. He was more of a republican a little bit, but he said that he will just submit to the will of the people, whatever the Iranian people decide, right? So he, for a while, he was kind of suggesting, because some audio was leaked from him talking to the people around him, and he was complaining that you are forcing me to be a king against my own wishes, and what happens to my rights, like what happens to what I want, right? And it seems like he's not power hungry at all. He prefers to, if it was up to him, he really wants to just serve the people from the as a civil servant, from, not within the. He once said, I prefer to work with civil organizations on the ground rather than working with ministers and prime ministers and stuff like that. But regardless of his wishes, he says that he will do what the Iranian people want. And he says whether we become a republic or a constitutional monarchy. And again, a constitutional monarchy is also a form of republic, by the way, right? It basically kind of like, it's not like Saudi Arabia, which is an absolute monarchy. It's more like the UK, Canada, Japan, Sweden, Norway, like a constitutional monarchy, right? And he says whatever we become, we will have a referendum, and the Iranian people will decide the type of the government that they want. And after that, whoever becomes prime minister, president, or the king, that's going to be up for election. So he says he will just submit to the will of the Iranian people in a free and fair election. So that's his position right now.
Yeah. I think he should be king. I support him as a king. And if I decide that,
I actually, yeah, go on.
No, Sarah, he says Armin should be king of Iran. But yeah.
Okay, so can I tell you what I want? I want Reza Pahlavi to not become king. I want his daughter. If we become a constitutional monarchy, if the referendum in the referendum the Iranian people decide that they want to, and I bet that the constitutional monarchy form will win, right? If there was elections, right? And if Iran becomes a constitutional monarchy, given that the monarch is supposed to be a symbolic position with not much executive power, I think it would be a waste for Reza Pahlavi to become the king, because he will have basically almost zero executive power. I think his daughter, Noura Pahlavi, should become the queen, so that he's free to become the prime minister. I want Reza Pahlavi to become the prime minister instead of the king, and his daughter Noura Pahlavi to become. And I think that would be very beautiful for us to go from the mullahs to having a queen as the head of the country.
I see your point there.
Yeah.
I see.
By the way, if you look at the pictures of Noura Pahlavi, you will also see my point for why it would be amazing if that was our queen.
Yeah, I just looked her up. I see it now. I see it now.
Yes.
So interesting. Very, very, very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah. So here we have her. Here we have her.
Yeah. That's I want her to be the monarch, not Reza, which is Reza Pahlavi's daughter, so that Reza Pahlavi could just be the prime minister instead.
Nice. Yeah. Very nice. All right, so this is what Armin wants for Iran, and so it shall be.
Yes. Yeah.
That's very impressive. Okay, next clip here.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me pause it, unmute it, go to the beginning. And then after this, maybe we could do some messages from Israelis to Iranians.
Yeah.
How about that? Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Netanyahu, for taking out the top.
Oh, so let me give you a lot of the videos I got were like this. So people uploaded some pictures on their monitor, some pictures that they liked. And this is a landmark in Tehran. People have photoshopped it to put the flags of Israel and the true flag of Iran with the lion and sun there. So the landmark is not Photoshop, but what they put on it is Photoshop, obviously. But this is a favorite image by a lot of Iranians. So he put it on his monitor, and he's talking while recording his monitor because he doesn't want to show his face.
Thank you, Netanyahu, for taking out the top generals of the IRGC. The people of Iran are with you. We are your allies, your natural allies, and you know it. You have said it so many times. From Tehran to Tel Aviv, from Shiraz to Haifa, from Isfahan to Urushalim, Iranians stand with you. Thank you very much. We are grateful. The people in Iran right now, when I talk to my friends and family, of course they are scared because it's a war after all, but also they understand and they are happy about the situation. They are grateful. They are grateful for what you're doing. And I just want you to know that it's very poetic if you think about it right now, because Cyrus the Great back in the day freed the Jews from their tyrants, and now the Jews are freeing the Persians, the Iranians, from their tyrants. We really are natural allies, and I can't wait for the day where our people can get together in peace in Middle East and all the neighboring countries. Thank you for everything. Continue what you're doing and help us bring back the Shah of Iran back, King Reza Pahlavi. Together we can make the Middle East peaceful again and get rid of this tyranny once and for all.
I find that reference for some reason very beautiful and very emotionally significant. You know, the whole, and I hear and I see so many Israelis and Iranians reference that very often. The Cyrus the Great helped the Jews, and now it's time for the Jews to help the Iranians. Like it's a reference that I hear so often from both sides, especially right now, and it feels there's something very romantic and something very beautiful about it, you know.
Yeah, because Cyrus the Great is somebody who's loved by both Iranians and Jews. So naturally, when we're talking about the unity between Iranians and Israelis, Cyrus will come up because we both love Cyrus the Great, right? And that's why Reza Pahlavi coined the term the Cyrus Accord. You know, you have the Abrahamic Accord between Israel and the Arab countries, but Reza Pahlavi, Prince Reza Pahlavi, wants to bring the Abrahamic Accord. The Cyrus Accord, and he's using the name Cyrus because it's a symbol of unity between Israelis and Iranians. Yeah.
I also I found this out when I a while ago when I was looking when I was exploring Judaism, and I didn't know this before, but I found out that in Judaism, because the Jewish Bible is kind of is oriented differently from how it is in Christianity. So the story of Cyrus basically freeing the Jewish people and the Jewish people going back and then back to their land, and then the future then being ambiguous from there on is basically, so that comes at the end of the Bible. So it's like a very significant thing. That's literally how the Tanakh ends, the Jewish Bible, how that ends. That is what happens in the end, where after much oppression, the Jewish people are freed by Cyrus the Great, and then they are allowed to go back to their home, and that's where the Bible ends. So it has like great emotional significance to Jewish people as well, and which is why it's on their minds a lot throughout the ages.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And by the way, Cyrus did you know that Cyrus not only freed the Jews, but he actually spent his wealth to rebuild. He actually rebuilt the temple.
Mm-hmm.
So he went beyond just freeing them. He actually helped them rebuild their temple.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Very, very nice. Very cool. I want to actually kind of play the video again of Reza Pahlavi appealing to the people of Iran.
Before you do that, can I mention to people that I didn't play a lot of the messages from Iran, but I did just play them on Atheist Republic. So if you guys want to see all of them, I played all of them on Atheist Republic. So here
Yeah.
we just saw a sample of them. So guys, go if you want to see all of the messages from Iran to Israeli people, go to Atheist Republic. And by the way, we're covering all of this over there as well, and we have a unique view of everything over there because I'm in touch with both. I have two channels, Atheist Republic Persian and English, and I'm constantly in touch with the Iranian people. So I cover it in a way that a lot of people might not you might not see other places because I'm Iranian and I'm constantly talking to Iranians and they're constantly sending me messages and I'm constantly in their community. We have a Discord community and I'm doing shows in Persian as well. So if you want to see, because there's a lot of lies being spread right now by Islamists and leftists regarding what's happening. So I will bring you the voice of Iranian people themselves, so you actually get a better understanding, a better picture of what's actually going on in Iran right now. So yeah.
Would recommend going and following. I also put the link to Atheist Republic in the description, so you will also find it there. Go and check it out if you want more information.
And don't let the name scare you. We are friendly to all anti-Islamists, regardless of whether them being atheists or not. And we're united on our fight against Islam and also wokeism. We are like, we might have disagreements over God or religion, but right now the main threat to civilization is these two evils of wokeism and Islam. So we could put our disagreements on those other religions or whether or not there is a God aside until we deal with this major threat right now that is coming for all of us, right?
Yeah. Because we all know there is a God. We don't have to talk about it any further. Yeah, so let's listen to this speech here for a second and then
همیهنانم جمهوری اسلامی به پایان خود رسیده و در حال سقوط است. خامنه ای همچون موشی
Actually, you know what? I think I want to play it just directly from his own account, because I made this note before the English came out, but I'll just play the English one.
So for people who just joined, this is the Prince Reza Pahlavi that all these Iranians were talking about. That this is the leader that we want to replace the Ayatollahs. We want him to come to Iran and become the leader. He's an ally of Israel. He believes in secular democracy, and he's very humble. Sometimes too humble.
He's literally the leader. He's the leader.
Yeah.
He said the Islamic Republic has come to its end and is collapsing. What has begun is irreversible. The future is bright, and together we will turn the page of history. Now is the time to stand up, the time to reclaim Iran. May I be with you soon. This has 17 million views. This is awesome. Let's see.
همیهنانم جمهوری اسلامی به پایان خود رسیده و در حال سقوط است. خامنه ای همچون موشی هراسان زیر زمین پنهان شده و کنترل اوضاع را از دست داده است. آنچه آغاز شده برگشت ناپذیر است. آینده روشن است و ما با هم از این پیچ تند تاریخ عبور خواهیم کرد. در این روزهای دشوار دل من با همه شهروندان بی‌دفاعی است که آسیب دیدند و قربانی جنگ طلبی و توهمات خامنه‌ای شدند. من سالها کوشیدم تا میهنمان گرفتار آتش جنگ نشود. پایان جمهوری اسلامی پایان جنگ 46 ساله آن با ملت ایران است. دستگاه سرکوب رژیم در حال فروپاشی است. تنها یک خیزش همگانی لازم است تا این کابوس برای همیشه پایان یابد. اکنون زمان ایستادن است. زمان بازپسگیری ایران. همه با هم، از بندر عباس تا بندر انزلی، از شیراز تا اصفهان، از تبریز تا زاهدان، از مشهد تا اهواز، از شهر کرد تا کرمانشاه به صحنه بیاییم. پایان این رژیم را رقم بزنیم. نگران فردای پس از سقوط جمهوری اسلامی نباشید. ایران دچار جنگ داخلی و بی‌ثباتی نخواهد شد. ما برای آینده ایران و شکوفایی‌اش برنامه داریم. ما برای 100 روز نخست پس از سقوط، دوران گذار و استقرار یک حکومت ملی و دموکراتیک برای ملت ایران و به دست ملت ایران آماده ایم. خطاب به نیروهای نظامی و انتظامی، امنیتی و دولتی که این روزها بسیاری از آنها به من پیام می‌فرستند. برای حفظ رژیمی که سقوط آن آغاز شده و حتمی است، روبروی ملت ایران نایستید. خود را فدای رژیم پوسیده نکنید. با ایستادن در کنار ملت، جان خود را حفظ کنید. در گذار از جمهوری اسلامی نقشی تاریخی ایفا کنید و در ساختن آینده ایران سهیم باشید. ایران آزاد و آباد پیش روی ماست. باشد که به زودی در کنار شما باشم. پاینده ایران، زنده باد ملت ایران.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. What do you think about this speech, Armin?
It's perfect. That's my leader. That's my leader. That's who I'm proud to call my leader.
Awesome. Awesome. I like this guy. I like this guy. I want to become an Iranian now just to call him king. Just to call him my king. Yeah.
So it's very crucial that he's pointing basically three important things, right? Asking the people to rise up. Now is the time. He mentioned that the transitionary period is not going to be chaotic. They already have the Nufti team. He has a team around him called Nufti, Nufdi. And then they have many Iranian experts that have already detailed plans on the economy, on the education, on the healthcare for the first one, for everything. For the transition period, they have detailed plans on what they're supposed to do to make the transition period go smoothly, and they have already presented everything in detail, and has been validated, has been reviewed by other experts. So he wanted to give a sense of security to Iranians who might be afraid of what's going to happen after the collapse. And the third part, which was the most important part, was talking to the people within the armed forces or the regime officials to come and join the people right now. Now the regime is falling. This is the time to basically defect and join the people. And that last part is very important because that's the key. That's how this will happen. As soon as you see some parts of the military joining the people, that's when you know that everything is over for the regime.
Nice.
So he hit the main 3 points.
That's powerful. It's beautiful. So by the way, right now there are still talks of America getting involved and directly participating in bombing IRGC targets. Trump has been very ambiguous about it the entire day. But right now, the latest news is that Trump just has reviewed all attack plans and right now is waiting for some final assessments on whether the Islamic regime in Iran has any intention of backing down completely from their nuclear program or not, which I'm pretty sure the Islamic regime will not do. So Trump, in this case, I think, wants to give the go-ahead, possibly bypass Congress and just authorize the bombing of locations in Iran. And the Iranian regime said earlier, if America does this, then we will attack American locations wherever we find them and wherever we see fit. So that's what they said. But we know that the Islamic regime likes to bark a lot without actually doing much. Things could get serious later tonight. We will see. I don't know.
The main thing that the United States is needed for is the bombing of Fordo, because when it comes to nuclear sites, the nuclear bases, Israel has successfully already taken out Natanz, more successfully than a lot of people anticipated. But Fardo is too deep in the ground. Israel has proven to be able to manage everything right now itself without the help of United States, right? They have already disarmed the regime completely. United States is the work for United States is easy. They have no air defense, they have nothing. It's basically open space for anybody to come and do whatever they want now because of the amazing the actions that the IDF has taken and the Mossad and IDF have taken. That is like basically United States. All the work, all the heavy lifting has already been done by Israel. The only thing that Israel can't do is that they don't have the bunker busters that go deep down enough for the Fardo side, for the Fardo not the Natanz nuclear side. Apparently, they managed to take care of that. But the Fardo nuclear sites is so deep underground that there's only a specific type of bomb that could go that deep, and only B-2 bombers can carry that. And Israel doesn't have those missiles, and it doesn't have a B-2 bomber. So that's the only thing we need the United States to come in and do. And honestly, the rest, Israel can do it by itself.
Yeah. Israel has pretty much done 95% of the job. So there's not much left to do in terms of taking on specific crucial targets. Israel is currently asking America to actually step in and to take care of that part, and Trump doesn't seem to be against it. So earlier this morning, they asked Trump about what he's going to do, and he just was very ambiguous, which is kind of typical of Trump.
Facilities. Where's your mindset on that?
I can't say that, right? You don't seriously think I'm going to answer that way? Will you strike the Iranian nuclear component? And what time exactly, sir? Sir, would you strike it? Would you please inform us so we can be there and watch? I mean, you don't know that I'm going to even do it. You don't know. I may do it. I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do. I can tell you this, that Iran's got a lot of trouble, and they want to negotiate. And I said, why didn't you negotiate with me before? All this death and destruction. Why didn't you negotiate? I said to the people, why didn't you negotiate with me 2 weeks ago? You could have done fine. You would have had a country. It's very sad to watch this. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's so, everyone thought it was going to be the reverse. I didn't think so. And I was telling them, you gotta do something. You gotta negotiate. And at the end, last minute, they said, no, we're not going to do that, and they got hit. Remember 60 days, and then
They got hit.
61 is going to become a very famous number. That was one hell of a hit. That first hit, that was one hell of a hit. Not sustainable, to be honest. That's where
Famous
it ended.
number.
He's just being so casual and funny about it.
I'm glad he finally stopped standing in the way of this. Whole thing was supposed to happen in May, but Trump was stopping it. So I'm glad he stopped.
He also said, so reporter asked him, what do you say to the supreme leader of Iran who says they will not surrender? And he said, oh, good luck.
Good luck with that.
That's all he said.
Yeah.
So, but right
by the
now,
way, they are trying to surrender. Like, this is what they always do. They come in front of the cameras and say we never surrender, and they go behind the cameras and they beg for mercy. Right? They basically this is always their strategy.
Yeah, they also said that they want to. Oh, they asked this morning. Apparently, this is what Trump said and what the administration said this morning. They asked. They said that they could send over a delegation, or the Iranian government could come over to the White House, to America, to negotiate. And Trump basically said it's too late for that. Yeah, so
it's too late. And he also said, well, you can't even come here because there's too many bombs. You can't even fly. I know. He also said, like, all the people negotiating with him are dead. So who am I negotiating with now?
yeah. Let me take a few super chats here before I completely forgot about the super chats. Why is AP late? Did they beat him they beat me in the desert? Armin probably doesn't know what this is, but Jewish Samantha says they beat me in the desert. This is from a clip. Jack Ray, was Muhammad beaten in the desert, or was he just pounded?
What is this joke?
It's from you probably haven't seen that clip, but it's this guy who wait, it's right here. It's right here. I'm gonna put it right here. This guy who went to Egypt to go to the Gaza border and wanted to open the Rafah gate, but the Egyptian authorities, they wouldn't let him through.
They are starving children. I tried to feed these children and they shot at me. For love, for humanity, for Islam, stand with your Islamic peoples. Please stand with your Islamic brothers and sisters. They welcomed me into their heart. I paid to go there as a nurse. They beat me in the desert for feeding starving Islamic children.
This is all it's about.
Wait, who is he? Did they beat him really in the desert for feeding children?
I don't even. It's like the rant that he's making here. I can't even connect. Like, he jumps from "they welcomed me" to "they beat me in the desert." They beat me in the desert, and they were starving children. He later goes on to talk about how he saw women, and the women didn't have milk in their breasts left, and they were trying to feed their starving children, the Gazans, but the mothers didn't have any milk left because they were starving so much. That's not even possible, man. Like for such circumstances to arise, you would have to have extreme, massive levels of starvation, which have not been reported anywhere in Gaza.
Yeah, I did a stream on this on the Atheist Republic. Do you know that? I think you guys know that Israel has managed to move more calories per person into a war zone than any other army ever in history. They actually broke the record on that. So, and instead of getting congratulated for that, they are told that they're called the evil that are trying to use starvation as a weapon of war.
Yeah,
that's what you get for
They're babies and women. The women are trying to feed their dying babies, and their breasts are empty. Do you know what that smells like?
We don't know what that smells like, and neither should you. I was thinking he was probably going around smelling all the breasts of the women, and then that's why they beat him in the desert. Get away, you pervert.
Do you know what that sounds like?
You know what that sounds like? What does it sound like? What does it sound like? Anyway,
do breasts that run out of milk have a certain smell?
Probably not. I wouldn't know. He apparently knows. He also knows that they have a distinct sound. He was going close, like, wait. Let me listen to that again. Let me put my ears on your breast and listen to it again.
Listen to the lack of milk. Oh my
god. Anyway, Raisin Bread said Armin is an atheist, yet he behaves and thinks like a Christian person in some instances. Do you realize that Armin? Yeah, he's actually a Christian. He just doesn't want to tell people. Yeah.
I mean, look, I even have Christian decoration behind me.
Oh yeah, what? Oh, that's just a book. I was wondering what that is. There's like an icon in the back, and then there are different things here.
Yeah.
Why do you have that?
How about this? Raisin Bread, I think you are the one who's acting like an atheist, and you don't realize that. You're being as good as an atheist. I get to complain again.
But then he's basically using Christian morals, which you're also using.
No, he's using.
How do you explain this?
Okay.
Gilad22, Shalom from Switzerland. Thank you all for your work. Keep it up. AP, vielleicht fällt ja zufällig und aus Versehen eine Bombe auf Al-Aqsa. Spaß. That says maybe accidentally a bomb will fall on Al-Aqsa. Who knows? That'd be funny.
By the way, as Sarah mentioned in the chat, the Jews have already claimed me as one of their own, so I cannot be a Christian because I'm an honorary Jew.
Well, they also claimed me last year, but then I became a Christian anyway.
So then you're lost cause then. So I'm still available as an.
Moshko and Armin, inshallah, soon we will drink a beer in Iran. Hey, I will join you. I will join you.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
I will drink. I haven't drank alcohol for a long time for health reasons, but for that purpose, if that would require me to break that rule.
Me too.
By the way, guys, I'm not a Muslim. It's health reasons, okay? I will drink alcohol just to prove that it's not for Islamic reasons.
Prove it right now. Skyscraper philosophy. If only these airstrikes had coincided with one of the recent Iranian mass demonstrations, do you think people will rise up now or too afraid of bombs? What do you think, Armin? Do you think
Okay,
they will rise?
if only they had coincided with one of the recent. Yeah, it's unreasonable to ask people to go protest while bombs are being dropped in the streets. Okay, so this cannot happen at the same time. We need Israel to take out, after Israel is taking out a lot of the threats to Israeli people. Then I hope Israel will start focusing more on threats to Iranian people inside Iran, removing a lot of the institutions and people responsible for crowd control and riot suppression and stuff like that. And then if those are removed, then once the bombardments are stopped, and hopefully if we take out Khamenei, then we could hopefully see mass demonstrations. But right now, under heavy bombardment, asking people to go out right now, that's unreasonable.
Nice. Etsky, God bless Israel and save Iranian people. Inshallah. Ivan Neth, I'm going to be honest, first 2 days I was genuinely afraid, but at this point, the Islamic Republic is nothing more than the Houthis. It's pathetic. I know it's the first days. I mean, the first day they sent over like 200 missiles or something like that. Second days, like maybe 100 or 150. It was,
yeah, and it wasn't all in one wave. It was in multiple different waves, which made it much easier to, because they had prepared everything. So if something like this happens, they throw 1,000 missiles at the same time as Israel. Everything was set up for that. But because Israel managed to take out all the people in command, and also they had this drone base already set in Iran, that at the time that the regime wanted to retaliate, these drones, and they also had explosive on the missile launchers and drones, and the explosive that was already within the missile launchers. Did you know that within the missiles they had already, it was kind of like the pager attack. Some of these missiles had already explosive within them because of the pieces that they used to build the missiles. Israel somehow managed to get explosives in there, and they just blew up at the moment that they were supposed to launch the missiles. And the drones that they had a military base ready in Iran, just there. I don't know for it's been there for I think a couple of years there, and it's just like Israel had a military base in Iran always waiting for a moment like this. So because they had no commanders, because some of these launchers or the missiles had already explosive in them, and because of the drones just got up in time to go attack these launchers, then the regime was incapable of doing that 1,000 guys. If the plan of sending 1,000 missiles at the same time to Israel was successful, it would have overwhelmed all of the defense system of Israel, and many people in Israel would have died. But because of the great works of Mossad and the IDF, they managed to destroy that plan, and also made it all of the missiles. They threw about 100 missiles, I think, on the first day, or something, a few hundred, and all of them came in like different waves. They didn't all come together, so it was much easier for Israel's defense system to handle all of that. So this was, guys, the movie of this has, like, when the pager attacks happen, I think like, okay, the movie of this has to come out. But now I don't want to see the movie of the pager attack, because this is so much better. They have to turn this into a movie. Like, it would be a crime against humanity if this attack does not turn into a movie, because it was amazing. It was beautiful. It was 007 on steroids. So yeah, it needs to happen.
I want to see that too. I want to say that.
Too.
Dehexian AP, did you read Jeremiah 49 verses 34 to 39? I haven't. Tell me what it is about. Did I make a note about that? I don't know. I'll have to check it out. Etsky 70, Rise Eagle, Israel saving Iran. Powerful. Mr. Krangus, think the US will strike soon. Inshallah tonight.
Seems
Chad Winger, the ultimate Dawa destroyer, said, Armin, who is cooler, Mike Winger or David Wood?
David Wood, because I don't know who Mike Winger is.
Somebody clip that and publish it. He doesn't know who Mike Winger is. Somebody clip that. That's the ultimate destruction of Mike Winger here. Sam 1234.
Sure.
Did you see Tucker pretend geopolitics doesn't exist? Ted Cruz had him cowering under his lame table, crying, "He beat me in the desert." I saw that. I saw some of that exchange between Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz, and it's just one of those funny instances where Tucker Carlson looked like a complete idiot. But to those who are watching it, who are like this new trend of hating Israel, they actually think that Tucker Carlson made good points and made Ted Cruz look stupid. But Tucker Carlson, he actually said in the interview that if it was proven that that the Islamic regime of Iran engaged or tried to assassinate Donald Trump, then America should just nuke Iran. But nothing like that happened. That's what Tucker Carlson said. And Ted Cruz then later on afterwards says to him, we have it, man. We have arrested and we have made the connections already. We know for a fact that the Islamic regime did indeed come after Donald Trump and did indeed try to assassinate him. So according to this, now we should send nukes over to Iran, according to Tucker Carlson. This idiot is just talking out of his behind. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Tucker Carlson is a complete lunatic.
Yeah. He's on the side of the worst people. Like he's on the side of Putin and the Qataris. I mean, it's so amazing how some people on the right are supportive of Qatar, which is the main funder of wokeism in the United States.
Yeah,
like you guys are anti-woke and also allies of the main funders of the wokeism in the United States. How does that make it?
Because a lot of the people, a lot of influencers, a lot of influential people on the right are people who will just go wherever they see opportunity and money. This includes people like Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, and others. So they will happily, if they see an opportunity for business or a fat bunch of money, they will be like, oh, okay, yeah, just tell me what to say. This is what Tucker Carlson is doing. We now have documentation out there that Tucker Carlson was paid huge amounts of money to do an interview with Qatari government people and all that. He's on their paycheck. This is just what they do.
Yeah.
It's easy.
But all of that money didn't work. Like the Qataris paid so much money for Trump not to go to war with the regime, and they gave him a plane even. But now all of it, for some reason, none of that worked. So are they going to get their plane back? I wonder.
No. Too late. Skyscraper philosopher. Some Iranian commentators say Iranians will be less willing to rise up because of bombs. Is this bullshit? And will Iran's regimes fragment into civil war? It will not go into civil war. But yeah, so Armin basically just addressed this part as well.
Yeah. But I do expect some, like it's natural for there to be some chaos at the beginning because obviously things are going to be chaotic. But whatever, it's not going to be a chaos that is going to be long lasting, and whatever disorder that we see at the beginning, it's going to be worth it because the disorder that the Islamic Republic causes around the world is so much greater than the temporary disorder that we're going to see during the transition.
Okay. Yep. Pray with me, Armin, says Diamond Encrusted Abdullah. Nice. I don't know why.
Diamond.
Etsky 70, Jesus for Iran. Powerful. Asaf, the Iranian people.
Iranians are becoming actually more non-religious than any. They're going from Islam to no religion more than anything else.
Nice. As long as they go away from Islam. Free the Iranian peoples, Persians, Balochis, Azeris, Kurds, Lurs, Arabs, and Turkmen. No more IRGC, no more. I would suggest them all stick together, but yeah.
Yeah. This is why we don't call, by the way, Iran Persia. A lot of people think they're being anti-Islamic by calling Iran Persia, but the name is Iran. Iran is not an Islamic name. Iran is an ancient name. It means the land of Aryans. Okay, so Persia is not, we don't call Iran Persia because only half of Iranians are Persians. So by calling Iran Persia, you're missing all these other Baluch, Azeris, Kurds, Lurs, Arabs, Turkmen. These are all Iranian citizens as well. So it's not Persia, it's Iran.
Nice. So you're the Aryans, right?
Yeah. Armin actually means, you know what Armin means?
Of course I do, but say it.
Armin means the guardian of the land of Aryans.
So you are a proud defender of the Aryans people.
So Aryan doesn't really mean what you guys like, what a lot of people think. So that Adolf guy, he uses the word Aryan in a different way, but Aryan actually doesn't mean what Hitler made it to me.
Oh, we get it, Armin. Just say you're a proud Aryan.
I don't know. This is your channel. Do you want it to get nuked out of the? Like, why are you doing this to your own channel? I don't know.
Chad Winger says some people are worried about the ethnic diversity of Iran might cause civil conflicts in Iran if the IRGC falls. Armin, your thoughts? Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Quick, briefly.
Might cause civil conflict. No, so in Iran, the main identity is Iranian identity. Okay, so if you ask that vast majority of the Kurds, they will say that they're Iranian before they're Kurds. If you ask the vast majority of the Baluch in Iran, they will say they're Iranian before they're Baluch. If you ask before Islam, before their ethnic, before their religious identity, and before their ethnic identity, is the national identity. Iranians are very, very patriotic, and their national identity is by far, by a huge margin, the most important thing they care about, and it unites all of them, regarding of whatever ethnic identities are so much less of a part of your identity compared to, and that because nationalism and patriotism is so strong in Iran, it unites us all regardless of our ethnicity. Yeah.
Nice.
Why do you? Hey, is that David?
Yeah, David. David is saying Armin is a defender of the Aryan brother.
No, yeah, that sounds bad.
Abdullah Samir says, "Why is Qatar funding wokeism?" It's because
Qatar tries to use soft power as leverage in the politics of other countries, regardless of whether they believe it or not. And whenever they see something that could have effect, whether it's Islamism, whether it's Muslim Brotherhood, whether it's wokeism, and right now, there's funding right-leaning wokeism. So like right now they're focusing on people like Tucker Carlson. So they don't care whether or not that ideology is something that they agree with or not. They just want to have leverage over the politics of other countries. So they enter the culture and the narratives of society, whatever they are, whether it's wokeism, if they think that's a good lever to pull, or whether it's right-leaning narrative or Islamism, they just want to enter there just so that they could, because they think because they're a small country with not a big army, so they think soft power is where they have the upper hand to be able to maintain control in international relationships. So that's what they do.
Nice. Okay, let's. I will read some more super chats, but let's go over to the message. Actually, maybe let me read just a few more here. Elijah Petty, what do you make of atheists like Sam Harris and Eric Weinstein saying that a lot of the bad code in Islam has their origin in the Hebrew Bible? Now, I only heard Eric Weinstein say one thing, which is that as somebody brought up apostasy laws in Islam, he said something like, "Well, it was actually us first." I don't know why he's talking about Judaism as us, but he said it was actually us first, Judaism, that brought in apostasy laws. I only heard him say that example. Now, first off, that example is actually wrong, because Judaism doesn't have apostasy laws. Judaism has had in the initial, law of Moses, the law to execute those among the Jewish people when they were a small people who cause division and who come and who say, "Come, let us worship those other gods." So that was one of the laws. That's all it was. Now, you can have your disagreements about that as well, but it's not the same as the Islamic ruling, which is that anyone who leaves Islam and makes it public needs to be executed. So those are completely different two things. So I would actually completely disagree with what I heard from him here. For example, considering that in Judaism you had that law 1,600 years before Islam came up with the idea to just execute anyone who leaves the faith. Islam should have come up with something much better 1,600 years later, but only came up with even more barbaric stuff. I'm not sure what Sam Harris said about any of this. I haven't listened to him in like centuries. But yeah, what do you think about this, Armin?
I mean, whether or not the Hebrew Bible has good teachings or bad teachings in them. This whole the bad codes, the origin of a code coming from somewhere else, it's not a really good argument, because I could say the code for Nazism is based in Darwinism. So should I be against the evolutionary theory just because the code for a lot of Nazi ideas is rooted in evolutionary theory? Like it does. Wait, are you anti-evolution too? Wait, are you now anti-evolution as well because you became
No,
a Christian?
no,
Or is that,
I don't really have
Okay.
a stance on evolution at all. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sam Harris is totally irrelevant, said J.A. Ashmes says, AP, you're not entirely correct here. Maimonides had similar apostasy laws, but he was in an Islamic country. Well, Maimonides would be kind of irrelevant here because, but I see your point, but it would be irrelevant because it's about the Hebrew Bible. So what Maimonides ruled would be different. What?
But do you see my point? Like something being have origins in some other things doesn't really mean, like the origin could be something good, and then even if you're rooted in that, it could turn into something bad, or something could be rooted into something bad but turn into something good. So things in religions and culture, everything is connected to everything, right? So bad things could be connected to good things could be connected to bad things. Just this connection doesn't make, if a bad thing is connected to something else, that doesn't mean that thing is also bad. Like everything is connected to in society, everything is connected to everything else. So it's a lazy argument.
I guess if somebody wants to make the argument that Islam only has certain bad things because those bad things were present in the Hebrew Bible and Islam adopted those things, I mean, even if you wanted to make that point, I would challenge that as well, considering that, and I would say that Sam Harris, for example, probably doesn't really understand how Islam works.
Yeah, but he admits that when we were talking to him on our show, he said like, "Hey, I don't understand Islam as much as you guys." So he was humble enough to say that.
Lots of people have this false idea that Islam adopts the Bible and adopts biblical beliefs directly. They think that Islam is kind of like Christianity, that it comes with the Bible, but it doesn't. It is a foreign religion that comes from a polytheistic environment and then tries to take biblical ideas, but it doesn't have the Bible. Whereas Christianity, for example, directly is originally a Jewish religion that directly continues the biblical tradition. Islam doesn't have that. Islam is completely foreign. So you can't really explain in the same sense that certain things are only in Islam because they were also in the Bible. You know, it doesn't really work that way.
So Islam started from this Judeo-Christian sect that was considered to be heresy by the Romans. So what was officially canonized within the Roman Empire, a lot of other Christian beliefs were considered to be heretical, and they moved into the borders of the Roman Empire. And some of those sects are basically sects that ended up being in the northern part of Saudi Arabia today. And those Arabs who originally had this Judeo-Christian sect, eventually, and their focus was on, they were a type of Judeo-Christian sect that really emphasized on Jesus not being the Son of God or God, and him being the prophet of God only. And eventually that being mixed with some other local Arab traditions during the Umayyad dynasty, that was the birth of Islam during the Umayyad dynasty under Abdul Malik and Ibn Hajjaj. The mix of these things gave birth to Islam. So
the thing is,
a lot of different
there are lots of theories on how this process actually fully happened. According to the Islamic narrative, it was that Muhammad himself obviously received the revelations, and his wife's cousin was a guy who was a convert to Christianity, and he told him, yeah, you're totally a prophet from the same God that we believe in, and so on. But what most likely happened is that Muhammad came out, and he comes from a polytheistic culture. He was probably influenced. Or he was. So
I don't really believe in the story of. I don't really believe Muhammad. I'm one of those people who doesn't even believe Muhammad was real.
Oh no!
I believe that Islam started. I believe that all of the stories of Muhammad were made up by the Umayyad dynasty.
Yeah.
Abdul Malik and Ibn Hajjaj made up those stories.
Yeah, I don't
many
really buy that. I would say that the whole Muhammad narrative seems plausible. It also makes sense because Islam is incredibly ignorant, of biblical stuff. So it would make sense that it comes from a non-biblical or non-Christian origin, which tries to adopt Christian things, because the Quran is remarkably stupid and ignorant about things that the Bible says and things that Christians and Jews believe. So,
yeah. But so were the Umayyads.
yeah, but I would have difficulties believing that there's some actual Christian heretical origin behind all of this somewhere, So because if there was,
Well, I mean,
if there was like a heretical Christian origin to it, then it would have been at least a little bit more informed about the Bible, a little bit more informed about what Christians and Jews believe. But it's like the Quran is completely ignorant.
Well, the Christian
things. So.
Well, okay, but at that time when these Christian sects, their beliefs was very, very different from what eventually became Christian belief. So at the early history of Christianity, we didn't have Christianity, we had Christianities, right? So when you say informed about Christianity, you're talking about the official position of Christianity today, which is not the positions of those sects back then, right? So
we already had so Christianity as it is today was formalized very much in the 4th century, but before that it was already like in the 1st century, in the 2nd century, it was very well established that the mainstream Christian beliefs were very much in alignment with Christian beliefs as they were formalized in the 4th century and as they are today. So people in the 2nd century and in the 1st century already, like, we have the writings of people like Pope Clement and the others who already established the beliefs that the biblical.
Yeah, but there were other people with different narratives.
Than in Jesus, in him being part of the Godhead and so on, him being the Son and him being God. There were only very few movements, if at all, that had differences on the nature of Christ, for example, and the nature of God, but those were generally disagreements on certain things, like, was Jesus actually fully God, or did he later become God, or was he adopted, or was he not, and so on. So there were certain heretical movements that disagreed on that, and that then defected, but the majority Christian view from the very beginning was very much in alignment with how Christians are generally, foundationally or fundamentally today. So if there were heretical movements in those regions in the time of Muhammad or in the time of Islam, when Islam emerges, those would be heretical movements that just disagree on certain things, like the nature of Christ or how God works. They would still have very much agreements on what the Bible says,
So let's say, even if what you're saying is true,
it is true.
Okay, so let's say okay. So whatever you want to attribute to the ignorance of Muhammad, okay, so the Umayyad dynasty, when they were canonizing the religion, like the Islamic version is that Osman, the 3rd caliph, was canonizing the Quran and Islam. Based on archaeological evidence and other evidence, it seemed like that's not true. It was Abdul Malik much later and Ibn Hajjaj that were doing that. But if you're seeing some contradictions with Christianity, is because it could be because these people were not were basically creating something new, that based on the political environment at that time, they needed to appease a whole bunch of different people. So their priorities were not, are we being accurate to Christian beliefs? Their priorities were, what should we put a stamp of approval on for us to make that makes the most political sense at this time right now, right? And again, we could do a stream on this if you're interested, because there's a lot of evidence that Islam was not created by Muhammad or Osman, and it was actually created by these two guys, Abdul Malik and Ibn Hajjaj, in competition with Zubair from Mecca. Islam was created in a war between Mecca and Damascus, right? So this is quite interesting because the early Islamic movement was an anti-Mecca movement, a pro-Damascus, pro-Jerusalem movement against Mecca, against Zubair, which is, again, I'm not going to get into that. But if you want to go into the archaeological evidence for all of this, because this is not, I'm not saying this. Experts in early Islamic history from major universities are saying this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
inshallah.
By the way,
inshallah,
if this is true, this will destroy Islam in a very epic way, because we now have objective evidence showing that the whole story of Muhammad is fake, which is great if we could show that, because this would destroy Islam.
I think David would actually be very interested in that. You should have a conversation with him. He actually had a debate on whether Muhammad actually existed or not with Robert Spencer, and he was like firmly defending that Muhammad did exist. So I think he would love to get into this with you. So
okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw that debate. I think David okay, I love David, but I think all he did in that debate was just call the other side conspiracy theorist. That's all he did. He didn't actually bring any points. He was just calling Robert Spencer a conspiracy theorist, and like, it's not a conspiracy theory if major university professors and academics are constantly writing publications on this, and it's being accepted as major academic work by other academics. So that's different from a conspiracy theory.
So you're saying that Robert Spencer is awesome and that you are his biggest fan here. That's what you're saying. So this is, you have it right here. Armin Navabi just admitted here that he's Robert Spencer's biggest fan. Oh. Now look at that.
I prefer this one. I prefer this one. Yeah, like, again, I think Robert Spencer is not a fan of me because of what happened with the Hindus back then, and he was taking the side of the Hindus against me. But whatever Robert Spencer thinks of me, or like maybe he doesn't even think of me at all. Actually, I think when it comes to some things, I just no, I don't agree with Robert Spencer on many things, but I really like his book. This book is amazing.
Nice.
By Robert Spencer. Yeah.
Shout out to Robert Spencer, who is, by the way, a very, very kind and very, very good person, despite his fighting nature online. D. Badro, D, very nice to see you here. Wanted to say thanks to both of you. The haters are so loud. I hope at least some will give this a listen. Much love. Thank you so much, D. Always so good to have you here. You know, D has been
She's amazing.
I think she is, of all the channel members, I think she has been the longest a member on my channel, and I know that she also contributes a lot to Atheist Republic. Yeah,
she's an editor. She's like finds us the most interesting news. She's part of the team. She is the Atheist Republic. She's like part of the team.
Yep, she's awesome. I really appreciate her. Shalom, AP, and your guest. There you go. Elegance with Grace said shalom. And finally, one more time, lazy prodigy. I'm struggling with the pacifist aspect of Christianity. This has weakened my faith. I could never lay down my life without a fight. I don't think that anyone actually suggests that Christianity would suggest that you should be pacifist. We had a conversation about this earlier on a live stream with on David's channel, where Bob the Builder joined us. And we talked about pacifism, where the consensus was that that Christianity is not pacifist, and it never was. Now there are certain Christian traditions and certain Christian aspects that go into some kind of pacifism, if you want it like that, such as Eastern Orthodox monasticism, for example, or different cultures within Protestantism. But Christianity is fundamentally not pacifist. I wouldn't say that. It has been very much established from the beginnings of Christianity that there is that self-defense is entirely justified, and so on. Yeah.
Hey, have you read Bart Ehrman at all, or have you like consumed any of his work?
I talked to him twice. I interviewed him actually, and I also read his one book, which is How Jesus Became God, or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
No, I just wondering. I'm gonna, if I say why, I'm gonna offend a lot of your fellow. I wonder how you could
be very
believe. Do
careful.
you like his work? Yeah,
Be very careful now.
Do you like it? Do you like his work? Do you agree with Brother Armin?
No, I mean, I agree with him on certain things, but not on other things. I mean, I know that he's a good scholar in many ways, in many regards, but there is some solid criticism that people have in especially how he, for example, reads into the development of Christianity. For example, he tries to interpret certain things that you find in the New Testament figuratively, in order to suggest how people actually had a different view of Jesus in the beginnings and so on. I don't know.
He's a very respected scholar, biblical scholar by both Christians and non-Christian scholars.
For his knowledge and for some of his takes, but I would say that most Christian scholarship doesn't agree with him. So.
Yeah.
And I would say that some of his perspectives, such as that the early Christians. Anyway, long topic, man. Let's talk about the messages. Justin Key was listening to Glenn Beck earlier, and he said the Shah was responsible for what unfolded leading up to 79. Any truth? Completely false.
He said Shah was responsible for what unfolded leading up to the Shah. By the way, it's not Shah, it's Shah. He was responsible for the greatest progress in Iranian history in the shortest amount of time possible, by every metric, economically, welfare, education, everything.
The Pahlavis lifted up Iran and made it a jewel in the Middle East.
Yes,
until it was destroyed by the Islamic Revolution.
They're also responsible for women being so powerful in Iran. The position of women in Iran before the Pahlavis was similar to Afghanistan right now at the time of the Qajars. The only reason why you're saying Iranian women being so powerful, so educated, so bold, so courageous is because the Pahlavi kings lifted women and they unchained them, they give them the liberty and they empowered them. Technically, I think that two Pahlavis, Reza Shah and Muhammad Reza Shah, should be considered the two greatest feminists in history, which is going to piss off a lot of feminists, calling two men the greatest feminists in history. But nobody has done more than these two men in empowering women.
Nice. Anyway, do you want to listen to the messages from Israelis? Do you want to show them?
Yeah. Let's just do 3 maybe, because I know you. Okay,
let's do that.
3. Okay, so
let's do that.
Okay, so here you go. Let me unmute it and then play.
Shalom to the people of Iran. I'm from Israel. My grandmother walked all the way over here from Kermanshah, along with her entire family.
Wow.
And they could never come back. So maybe soon I'll be able to visit. And maybe you'll be able to visit as well. But first we need to finish this job, and we got this. We got you and you got us, and this is our fight, both of us together, and we got this.
That's awesome.
So I got so many of messages like this from Israelis for the Iranian people, and then I'm going to go tomorrow night Iranian time, I'm going to go on the Persian channel. I'm going to be translating every single one of these to Persian for my Persian audience. Okay.
You should put all of these clips that you have from all of them. You should put them all together and just make a video compilation of all of those and publish them. With subtitles.
That would be a good idea. Yeah, that would be a good idea. I mean, I don't have that editing power. Somebody contact me. Some editor here, armin.navabi@gmail.com. That's my email. Okay. So please contact me if you want to help me with that.
Nice.
All right.
Because daughter only pays attention to his hair. So, yeah.
Actually, I have a lot of videos. We're only going to show you 3. I have a lot of messages from Israelis for Iranian people, which I showed more of it on Atheist Republic just a few hours ago, so you could go watch it. But here's the second one. This is my friend, by the way.
Oh.
Hello to all Iranians watching me. My name is Yuval. I was born in Israel. I'm an Israeli citizen. I lived in Israel for many, many years. And I can tell you as an Israeli, and I'm sure I'm speaking on behalf of many Israelis, that Israelis wish you peace, prosperity, and freedom, and they have no animosity towards the Iranian people. We wish you to be free of the oppressive regime that is oppressing you since 1979 and that is dragging both our nations into useless wars and confrontations. We have no quarrel with the Iranian people. If you ever, once you get to Israel, after peace will come, you will see how much love and respect there is among the Israeli people towards Iranian culture. We would be happy to embrace all of you as friends, regardless of your religion. If you're atheist or Muslim, Baha'i, Christian, Zoroastrian, or any other religion, regardless of your ethnicity, if you're Persian or Kurdish or Ahwazi or Azeri or Balochi or any other ethnicity, we would be happy to embrace all Iranians as friends. The only problem Israel has is with your oppressive regime. And once this regime is toppled, hopefully very, very soon, we would be able to renew the friendship between our two nations, a friendship that was there for over 2,000 years. We do not forget what your King Cyrus did for us. So best wishes from this Israeli, and I'm sure there are a lot of best wishes from a lot of Israelis towards the Iranian people. Stay safe, and hopefully you will be free soon. Thank you.
Very, very nice. Very powerful. Very, very good. And
First of all,
Here. These are all sent directly to me on my Telegram. And again, if there are other Israelis watching and they want to send me their videos for the Iranian people, which I'm going to play on on our Persian channel, my Telegram is at the Armin Navabi. So THE Armin Navabi with no spaces in between, obviously. But yeah.
So, first of all, thank you, Armin and the community, for this opportunity to send a message. This is a message for the Iranian people. I want to tell you, we're not fighting you. We're fighting the regime. We know you're going through a lot. We know it's rough. But we promise you it's not against you. It's against the regime. And we know it tells you otherwise. It's not true. So I want you to know that we wish you well. You deserve better. You will have better days. And after this whole mess, this storm, the lion will rise. We love you. We support you. We are always behind you. Stay strong. Be safe. Love from Israel.
Oh,
very
that's so
nice.
sweet. Can we do two more? I know we said three, but just two more. Can we do two more?
Yes, of course, of course.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Two more videos I said.
Let's see.
Shalom Armin. Shalom la'am b'Iran. Hello to the Iranian people. This is a message from Israel to you, the freedom-loving people of Iran. Israel is not fighting against you. Israel is fighting for our peace and for your freedom from your oppressors, the same people who aim to destroy my country. Our victory is your victory. Your freedom is our freedom. Long live the people of Iran. Am Israel Chai.
Perfect. Just
Wonderful.
one
And here.
Hello to the Iranian people. I am from Israel. See, I have a yarmulke. And I want to tell you two things in this ongoing conflict, the rising lion. The reason we do it is for two reasons. It's to prevent the IRGC having nuclear weapon and having ballistic missile plan the goal project. We have to annihilate it, because if we won't annihilate it, we will be annihilated by them. We have no choice. We have nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. We don't want to attack you. We don't want you to suffer. We just want to break their dream of breaking us. That's the first thing. The second thing is, we remember what the Persian people do for us. You are ancient people and we are ancient people. We still remember that you freed us from the Babylonians. So it's time for us to help you get freed back from this Islamic lunatic regime in Iran. So it's your time. You have to choose whether to do it or not. And if we can be part of your freedom and prosperity, we are happy to be part of it. It's an honor for us. But it's your choice. It's your country. And you need to choose whether to do it or not.
Very nice.
And I repeat, we don't want to fight against you. We have nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. The only reason we do it is for our freedom and our lives. And I hope that you will find the way to get your freedom back. And I am happy that we can be part of your freedom. That's all. Thank you.
Very nice. And he even recorded this video while he's obviously sick. So, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It seems like he has a cold or something.
Yeah.
Very nice, man. Very nice. You have two people that are very special and very distinct in the Middle East, supporting each other and calling out to each other. It would be very, very iconic for these two people to help each other right now and to then once again establish wonderful relations. Lots of people are not aware of this, but Iran, before the Islamic Revolution, was close with Israel. Iran and Israel were friendly, on friendly terms, and things went really bad with the Islamic Revolution. So it's time to reverse that.
Yeah, the way I look at it is that the Iranian people and the Israeli people are two nations fighting for life in the sea of death, surrounded by this cult of death in the Middle East. And because both of these people are on team life, it only makes sense for them to reach out to each other and help each other fight all of these agents of death.
Nice. Yeah, so Israel and the Pahlavi Iran were allies, and today it's so strange that after 79, the Islamic regime started ruling, and their slogan has become "Death to America, Death to Israel." When Iran was allied with America and allied with Israel in the past.
Yeah, and more importantly, death to their own people, because that's the only thing they have been more successful in, more successful than death to America and death to Israel. They have also spread this ideology of loving death and martyrdom and killing their own people So even though they chant death to America and death to Israel, the only death that they have been successful at is the main death that the main death that have been successful at is the Iranian people. The Iranian people have been paying. I mean, a lot of people have been suffering because of the regime in Iran, but I would say that the Iranian people themselves have been paying the highest price for this.
Nice. AP, how crazy it is that you and me started out as affair after October 7th. I made you laugh, I made you cry, and here we are destroying the IRGC. Said Alhamdulillah Shawarma ibn Tahini. Yeah, totally. John Bunduk, also Islamic Republic caused many of these issues in Iraq, especially today, where militia proxy parties hold control by intimidation and judicial coup.
It's Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, you name it. Everywhere. They tried even Jordan.
Their whole network will
everywhere.
collapse if the Islamic regime is removed. They have a network of terrorist organizations, of proxy movements across Middle Eastern nations. It will collapse if if the IRGC is gone.
And it's all thanks to Israel. I need the world to understand this, because this was a network that was being built to come for the entirety of the world.
Yes.
And the entirety of the world was doing nothing about it.
Yes.
And this is why supporting Israel is not supporting Israel. Supporting Israel is supporting the world, because Israel is standing between the world and the enemies of the world.
Yes. That's true. Striker, I think the risk of US IAF killing Khamenei is that it can delegitimize a successor government in Iran. If Iranians remove him, it'll be more credible. I heard that concern as well, that it should be left to Iranians themselves, because if Israel and America take him out, then they will have acted on behalf of them.
But you could play that game, but what if they can't? So you want to gamble, you want to play that game, you want to be like, okay, let's the Iranian people do it, not the I mean, here's the thing that Israelis have learned. We should stop worrying about how the world views us and just do what is necessary. Because when you constantly worry about how the world views you, that's a recipe for your annihilation. Okay, if you need to take somebody out, just take him out. The world would judge you negatively no matter what you do. If they see you in a negative way, they will continue. You cannot make them happy. All right, so fuck them. So fuck the world. Just take out, if you can take out Khamenei, just take him out instead of constantly worrying about how the world will look at it. I mean, the Israelis now know this. The Israelis have tried making the world happy, and the world constantly blames Israelis no matter what they do. So fuck them.
I mean, I understand your passion, but we don't cuss here, so.
Okay, sorry. You're a Christian channel now. I'm sorry. Sorry.
No, you know that we even did that before I was Christian.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
It's fine. It's fine. I understand.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'll let it pass for now. K4, so I have to question whether Afghans are that anti-democratic. Ahmed Shah Massoud was massively popular in Afghanistan. Even in death, he was consistently pro-democracy and even pro-women's rights. I don't know, but if you want to ask them, so we have surveys. According to the surveys, the Afghans are over 90% of Afghans say they want Islamic law in Afghanistan. So,
yeah. Well, things were different back then during Ahmad Shah's time. Things got worse. So, yeah.
Nowadays, it is. I mean, I brought up the Pew Research poll, which was from 2013, where 99% of people in Afghanistan said they want Sharia law. 99%.
I mean, the problem is that they even ask specific questions, because sometimes you ask people and they say like, yeah, you want Sharia law, and then you ask about the specifics, and they're like, well, you want this in Sharia law? Like, oh no, not that. Okay, so some people are shy. They say they like Sharia law, but once you explain what's in the Sharia law, they're like, yeah, no, I don't want that. But the problem is in Afghanistan, they even specifically ask, would you want to kill apostates? They were like, yes, very much so. Do you want to? Yeah. So by a huge, a high percentage, we're like, yep, we want that. Thank you very much.
That's exactly what I want. Exactly that right there. Yeah, killing apostates, stoning adults. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. 99%. Wonderful.
Really
messed up, man. Completely messed up people.
Oh,
Can
this
you
is a
all
good question.
explain how Iran was taken over by this regime to begin with? Well, so it all started 2,500 years ago. No, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, so here's the thing that everybody needs to understand. It was the leftists opening the gates to the barbarians from inside. Okay. And this is what the West has to understand, because it's happening again in the West. Okay. So the Islamists themselves, they did not have the political capability to do that. The 1979 Islamic Revolution was not merely an Islamic revolution. It was an Marxist Islamic revolution. The leftists and the Islamists united with each other, and that's how they managed to make this happen. I've actually written an article about this in detail, which I could, if you guys want to, hold on. That if you guys want to go read, let me share that with you. Okay, so can I share this with everybody?
Yes.
So this is a major warning to the here. It's, you see the article? Yeah, this one. Okay. So this one, by any means necessary. I'm gonna put the link in the chat for you guys, right? So this is a major warning to Western countries to see how an entire society, we lost the unity, the alliance between leftists and Islamists took our country away. We Iranians, this is why Iranians knew how dangerous this alliance between Islamists and leftists are, because we lost an entire country to it. We knew, and again, Muhammad Reza Shah, the father of Reza Pahlavi, he coined the term that the unholy alliance of red and black. Irtijai Sorkh و Siyah. So for red, he meant the Marxists, and for black, he meant the Islamists, the Shias, the Islamists, right? And he warned everybody that this is going to destroy our country, and people didn't take him seriously, and we lost Iran to this alliance. And now this alliance, many years later, so the Shah, the previous Shah of Iran, warned the world about this alliance, and now it's coming for the rest of liberal countries in the West. And if you read this article, you could see exactly how it happened. I wrote this. Yeah, so you could just search for this article, by any means necessary, Iran, Hamas, and the left, and you know and once you read the history of how all of this happened, you can see it exactly playing out again in the West right now. And the interesting thing is that eventually, when Islamists took control, they started executing the leftists that helped them get into power. And this is what people are warning the leftists right now, that you don't know who you're allying with. They will turn on you eventually. Because here's the thing, the leftists have the political know-how, but they are not military, they're not violent enough. Like they don't have the muscle, they don't have the barbarism. They just are scheming and doing the political activism. However, because they know that they're weak when it comes to military power or aggression, they use their political capabilities to allow the barbarians in. They allow the Islamists in, and then the Islamists will use the networking and the political power of the leftists, and they will add the muscle power, the brutality and the violence, and that's how they complete each other. One of them has the violence and the aggression, the other one has the political know-how and the activism, and that's how they work with each other. And there's a lot of people say, like, well, their ideologies are different, why are they working with each other? Their shared idea, the thing that they share with each other is their hatred for what they call the imperialist West, right? So they are both trying to completely dismantle the world liberal order. The Islamists see this as Dar al-Kufr, the house of disbelief that they're trying to take down, and the Marxists or the leftists, they consider this the imperialist capitalist powers that be, but they both want to take it down. The difference is that at least the Islamists want to replace it with a different order. The leftists, they just want to destroy order altogether, right? And that's why eventually the Islamists will, once the Islamists and the leftists win, eventually the Islamists will destroy the leftists, because they both agree that they call it Western imperialism, we call it the world liberal order. Once they destroy that, they see eye to eye in destroying it, but they don't see eye to eye in what should replace it. Because the Muslims, they either want, if they're Sunni, they want to replace it with a caliphate. If they're Shia, they want to replace it with an imamate. the leftists actually don't even have a plan for what they want to replace it in. They just want chaos. Okay. They just want the order. They're just anti-order. And that's when they win, they start attacking each other. But again, read this article. I think it's very well written. And I know that because I wrote it.
Nice. Go check it out. Check it out.
Yeah.
Check it out. Very, very nice. A&M Creations, can you all, I already read this. Johnny Brisket, many on the anti-war side used a report from Tulsi Gabbard earlier this year saying that Iran was not building nukes. What are your thoughts on this? Well, Tulsi Gabbard is an absolute idiot. I'm sorry, I said this before. People who heard me say that will know that I did indeed say it. I never trusted her. I think she's you can't trust her in anything. I think she's I don't know why Trump appointed her to her position. I guess it was because she was useful and he had to somehow pay her back. But she is for the longest time, she was advocating for the enemies of America and enemies of the West. And she's, of course, always there to push a narrative that will undermine the West and undermine America. Everybody knows the narrative has not been that the Islamic regime of Iran is secretly building nuclear weapons and they're getting it already. The narrative that Israel also pushed out there, which is factually 100% proven to be true, is that the Islamic regime has the capability at this stage, had the capability to very, very quickly, within weeks or months, build nuclear warheads, build nuclear weapons, and fire them at will. And that this is a time where they have to be stopped because their uranium enrichment has come to such a level where it is easy for them to easily establish it. Whether they are actually secretly building nuclear weapons or not is a whole different question. We don't know that. But the main accusation, which is also 100% true, is that they have the capability and they shouldn't be left unchecked.
We actually have audio leaked from Fakhrizadeh, the late scientist that Mossad killed of the Islamic Republic, basically showing that they were active during the time that the JCPOA was in effect with Obama. During even that time, they were actively working on creating warheads on missiles that are capable of carrying out, basically turning those missiles into nuclear weapons. Again, violating the terms of the JCPOA. So we know that. And the whole plan was to just make sure that they have weapons that could immediately be turned into nuclear weapons and also have enough enrichment uranium to do that. So even though you don't have a nuclear weapon, because if you do have a nuclear weapon, probably Mossad will figure it out and they will unite the world against you. But not having a nuclear weapon, but be able to going from not having a nuclear weapon to having a nuclear weapon at a moment's notice. That's what they were trying to achieve. So technically not having a nuclear weapon, but being just only a very short distance away from having a nuclear weapon. They wanted all the benefits of having a nuclear weapon without all the costs of uniting the world against you. That was their strategy.
Yeah. And by the way, about Tulsi Gabbard, Trump was asked, and he actually said something very, very interesting. So let's see.
She's pro Putin and she was pro Assad as well. So it's a bizarre choice.
She is terrible, and she's one of the two people that should never be appointed to any government position. But here's what Donald Trump said when he was asked.
But how close do you personally think that they were to getting one? Because Tulsi Gabbard testified in March that the intelligence community said Iran wasn't building a nuclear weapon.
I don't care what she said. I think they were very close to having.
So Trump is asked, so what do you think about Tulsi Gabbard? Tulsi Gabbard says they weren't close. I don't care what she says. Very, very
I'm glad he
nice.
said that. She deserves being shat on like that.
It's funny because he appointed her, but but
Yeah,
Tulsi
like-
Gabbard said, "I don't care what she does."
If you don't care about what she said, then why did you put her in that position?
That's the question I want to ask too. But yeah. Anyway, JT, once empowered, the Iranian people need to outlaw Islam and never let them back. Now, here's a problem that I have with this.
That would help Islam.
Exactly. In every situation where you had a certain revolution or a certain reform and secular people took over and then started putting restrictions or bans on Islam or any other religion, but especially Islam, it usually had the opposite outcome. Especially with Islam, you can't play that game. It's a very stupid idea. Especially if you have a Muslim population in the country, you can't play that game. If Iranians came and did something like outlawing Islam, the Islamists would immediately use this to rile up the people and to play a very, very violent narrative. And this would also over time build the resentment and would give in to the whole idea of Islam being repressed, and it would prepare for future turbulences. This is what happened on a lower scale. It happened in Turkey, which is what led to the rise of Erdogan and his party. This is not a good idea at all.
In fact, you would want everyone to be free to talk, because Islam is such a bad idea that if it just didn't have the unfair advantage of governments supporting it or making it illegal for us to criticize it or censoring us, if we just had a fair platform, a fair environment for us to go at it, we will just win that battle anytime. So we just want everybody to be able to be free to say whatever they want, and we will win that. The only reason why Islam wins is because either governments outlaw criticizing it, or they censor you, or they just it has some certain in Islamic countries, it's absolutely, they make it absolutely unfair, but in non-Islamic countries, governments still find a way to give Islam an advantage, undeserved advantage. If we just get a fair ground for us to fight it out, Islam wouldn't have any chance. So just let everybody attack Islam freely, and we will annihilate Islam like that. I mean, if you ban it, it seems like we're cowards, that we don't actually have good points against Islam, and the only way to win against Islam is to not let people talk about it. But we are confident enough to know if we just make the environment fair, we will win this. We will win against Islam. So let it be a fair game.
Yeah. The only fear that I have is that Iran would start adopting kind of this whole Western mindset of being stupid and bending over. But I guess Iranians have experience with Islam, and they wouldn't give in. I don't know. I hope they come up with a reasonable way of dealing with Islamists.
By the way, this is a good point. Look how banning ideas have worked. Okay, so in Iran, the government tried to ban criticizing Islam, and now Islam is hated in Iran more than anywhere else in the world. We have anti-Islamic views in Iran more than any other country in the world, and this in a country where the government tried to ban criticism of Islam. So learn from the Islamic Republic. Don't try their methods. It didn't work out for them. Okay, it didn't work out for them, so we shouldn't use that method.
Yep, that's true. Armin, you don't get it. If you end the Islamic Republic, you'll get an Islamist government in Iran. That's how Arabs are. Watch Candace. Just let Khomeini get his nuke. This is, I mean, it is good satire, but this could totally be a serious comment here, like by some people.
Well, I mean, Khomeini is dead, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, Khomeini, yeah. Elite Team Killer, these guys are getting too hopeful too quick. This war, if far from over, all same people hope for Israel's victory and Iran given back to the Iranians. I mean, it's always good to be hopeful, but nobody is sure right now that the war is over. So we want to make sure we get there in a good way.
I am careful with my wording. I like when people ask me, "Is this the end of the regime?" I don't say yes. I say we have never been closer. So whether that's what I say, we have never been closer because I'm not even making a comment on what the probability is. I just know the probability, whatever that number was, today is higher than ever. So that's that's a safe statement to make because I didn't give you a probability number. So I'm being very careful with what I'm saying here.
So, Armin, what do you think the probability is that this will succeed?
Oh, you try.
More the goes. Sorry for the dumb question, but does the princess want to go back? Does the prince want to? Does he want to take that responsibility? And I think you're saying prince. Yeah,
Princess. Okay, so the
Prince wants to
Reza
go back.
Pahlavi, he was very reluctant in accepting being the king. Okay, he wanted to serve the people in a different way, but he's also such a man of the people that he will give in to the demands of the people. So if the people of Iran want him to go back and want him to be king, he will accept it because that's the demand of the Iranian people, even if it's against his own wishes. So that's how he's like. He wants to serve the people in whatever way they want him to. So he
Nice.
wants what the Iranian people tell him they want.
Nice. But Armin says it should actually be the daughter of Reza Pahlavi
That
who
would
should be queen.
Yeah, but I'm trying to convince more Iranian people not to make him king. Like, hey guys, aren't you saying this is the best man we have? Why would you tie his hands in a ceremonial, a symbolic position with no executive power? If he's this great, make him the prime minister and give the monarch position to somebody else. That's my argument. I'm trying to, every time I mention this on the Persian channel, people agreed with me, so I'm hoping that I get to convince more Iranians. Yes, she should be the queen instead of Reza
And
Pahlavi being the king.
Armin is just saying this because he thinks that the queen is beautiful or that the daughter is beautiful and she should be queen. So that's
I mean, it's a great way to I mean, if it's a symbolic position, the symbolic position looking this beautiful has its advantages. It's the face of the country.
yeah. Armin has a crush. You just want a hot queen.
Hey, who doesn't want a hot queen?
But wait, Mosh said you skipped my super chat about Cyrus. I did indeed. I see it right here. Cyrus sent us to rebuild Judea. We owe you one, says Mosh Cohen in the other super chat that I
Yes.
skipped earlier. Nice.
Okay.
Cyrus sent us to rebuild Judea. We owe you one. Nice.
Okay, well,
Hezbollah, fantastic that Iran may be free again. Is it likely that extremism will continue around the world regardless of fall of IRGC supported by another source?
Yeah, it will to some level. It will just be much lower, and it might peak a little bit at the beginning, or a lot at the beginning, but it will fall dramatically. So here's the thing that will happen. I'm going to be honest with you guys because I don't want to just paint rainbows and butterfly and everything is going to turn out completely okay. Like I don't want to just. I'm going to be honest with you guys, right? So there might be some problems at the beginning for a couple of years because now we have a lot of previously supporters, loyals of the Islamic Republic who are now going to be without a government. So they might actually want to do, now that they are don't have a government, they might become militants and terrorists and cause a lot of problems. But to address that, we need to have a strong Iran that could basically beat them in the desert. Right.
That's a good point.
Yes.
Yeah, Armin wants to simp for the queen. Totally. Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Supreme Leader Ayatollah Daid Khilbillah Wudini says, what is it? What does it say, Armin?
این به مشت آهنین جمهوری داوودی رژیم نحس وینگالینگ را هم در هم خواهیم کوبید. داوری که تاریخ را به لرزه میاندازد. What are you on about?
What does that say?
It's this there would be an iron fist of the a Davidian republic of this dirty regime of Vingaling. What is Vingaling? I don't know what's happening. Which will
So Winglings
annihilate
are the
Oh.
followers of Mike Winger, who is the nemesis of David Wood, and
okay.
this is the this is the Ayatollah form of David Wood here talking. So this is Supreme Leader Ayatollah David Hilbilla Woodini.
Okay. I'm so out of the loop. I don't know what's going on. Okay.
This is so stupid. Carson Dev Cyrus is Koresh in Hebrew, mentioned in Ezra 1:1-4, also in the Talmud in Megillah 11a, 12a. Isaiah called him God's anointed. Yeah.
Yeah, we also called Cyrus. I don't even know where Cyrus came from. We call him Kurosh, Kurosh Kabir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we Iranians call him Kurosh.
Very, very
No,
powerful.
Cyrus is Cyrus is that a Greek version of Cyrus?
I
don't know.
looked it up a long time ago where Cyrus came from, but I think it's kind of a. It doesn't even make sense that it would be Greek, because Greeks would also refer to it as Kyros. Koresh, Kyros. I don't know. I gotta look that up. Dodge Shadow 09. I became a member. Amir Mohavish became a member. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the cult. There is no getting out, by the way. If you try to get out, you'll get Drew Traver, don't underestimate the strength of the Shia sword catching butt cheeks technique. DT.
Yes.
What?
We call the Piruzi Kun Bar Shamshir. So the Shias in the Shia rulers in Iran, what they do is that they say that the blood will overcome the sword. So every time you defeat them, they said that their blood is actually more powerful than the sword. Basically, their version of saying this is but a scratch from the Monty Python sketch, right? So every time you defeat them and humiliate them and destroy them in battle, they say like, "Oh, our blood will overcome and defeat your swords," right? So Hun in Persian means blood, but also Kun in Persian means ass. So we Iranians have changed that. When they say our blood will overcome your sword, they say the Piruzi Khun Bar Shamshir. We have changed it to Piruzi Kun Bar Shamshir. They say when we shove your swords up our asses, we will capture your swords with our anuses, and our anuses will overcome your swords. And so you're like, oh, you shoved your sword up my ass, but it's actually me that has captured your sword with my anus, and we have defeated you. That is the Shia way.
That's very good. That's very nice. That explains a lot.
Yes.
Okay, so I just looked up the development of the name of Cyrus. So in Old Persian, it is Kurush. Then it becomes in Akkadian, it is Kurash. Modern Persian is Kurosh. But from Kurosh into Greek, it was adopted as Kuros. So in Greek, it's actually Kuros. In Latin, it was adopted as wait, what is it? Into Latin, it was adapted as Chiros or Kiros, and it's just because of the stupid English pronunciation of whatever starts with C that we change it all into a different weird pronunciation. It's actually a very, very recent corruption that in English we just took this whole thing and started calling it Cyrus. Why are we doing this?
That's just language changes.
Yeah. If it came from Judaism, not from Islam, why don't Jews kill their apostates, but Muslims do? More likely this was something Mo wanted to do anyway. Yeah, he was just very big on wanting to kill those who betray him. Mo had problems, man. Big problems. Or the Muslims. Elite, team killer, ignorant, illiterate people might have mixed up these religions, which would allow both of you to be right. Who knows what was going on in the desert? They beat me in the desert. Yeah.
They weren't illiterate. They were very scheming. Like Ibn Hajjaj was actually very wise. He was just evil. He was very educated and he was wise, but he was just like he was an evil man, right? So they had bad intentions.
Big time, bigly. Cyrus doesn't sound good. Cyrus sounds fake. I want to call him Kiros. How about that?
Kurosh. Is that Kurosh?
No, I want to do the Greek way.
Oh, okay.
I want to call him Kuros. So in Persian you say Kurosh, and Jews say Koresh, and Greeks say Kuros. That's funny. Which sounds very similar in Greek to the word used for Lord, which is Kyrios. It's kind of
You know, Kurosh in Iran, he's almost worshipped. Like he's very. Iranians try to go to his burial ground on his birthday every year, and the government always tries to come block them. The government tried to actually destroy his burial ground at some point.
What?
Yeah.
Damn. It's not just theology. No. It's not just theology. The Quran puts crucifixion in Egypt, Miriam as the same, Moses within a generation of them, Ezra worship, etc. Basic errors. Yeah, Islam gets, so the Quran gets too much completely wrong about.
Some of these are errors, but some of these are intentional changes for political reasons. Some of them.
But too many of them are just complete errors, man. Like the whole Mary thing, like it starts.
Oh yeah, that was a mistake. Yeah.
Mistaking the sister of Moses and Aaron for the mother of Jesus, like.
Yeah. But some of the location changes were political. Maneuvers.
Yeah. Amir Mahvash, what is your opinion on the theory that the Quran is translated Christian heresy and mystical text, at least in the early stages of Islam, rooted in Arianism and Nestorianism? Well, I would still have the same perspective. Arians and Nestorians were heretic heresies that, especially Nestorians, were not very detached from basic Christian beliefs and knowledge at that stage. Arians would be more distant, but they still would have the same fundamental Christian beliefs and the Bible with them. So I don't know, but yeah, we can talk about that forever. Script Kolbis says, "Hey AP, it's good." What the heck happened? Hello. I can't put my message on. I can't put the message on the screen now. This is weird.
I can see it. It said, "It's good to see you again, Armin. It's nice to meet you." Nice to meet you as well.
Oh, on the screen that worked, but it didn't work for me. That was funny. Okay. Hey, AP, it's good to see you again. Armin, it's nice to meet you. 16,670, an inspiration to us all. God bless you both for his children. Christ is risen indeed. Powerful, powerful. Good to meet you. Good to see you. Yeah. Hey, I'm at the very least tied with D. I became a member the first day they went active for you. Okay, Cheryl, I'm sorry. I apologize. So you are, I have to check the list of my oldest channel members. D is one of them.
I'm rooting for D.
You might be the other one. I'm gonna check it right now. I'll see who is first. If you're older than D, then I will apologize publicly. Yeah. I don't even know where to check that, honestly.
By the way, D's an atheist and Cheryl is a Christian. So let's see who. This is the battle. This competition between the atheist and the Christian fans that you have.
Oh, wait a minute. So total time on level. Joined 65 months ago. Ha! I got it right here. Actually, the oldest channel member is Rin Tin Tin Man. Second oldest is 12 BKL My Shoe. Third is Cheryl R. Cheryl.
Cheryl.
Yeah, Cheryl wins. And then so I apologize to Cheryl. Then 4, 5, and number 6 is D Boudreau. Number 6 is D.
Hey, Sarah is here.
So that's awesome. That's awesome. Yesenia Brown says Israel and Iran will create a superpower and keep the Middle East safe. What are you saying hey to?
I know her. I've seen her on our channel.
Oh, nice. Do you know the Lord of Lords become a new member? Welcome to the club. There is no leaving, or you will be executed. By the way, but I agree with this, Yesenia, and thank you, Mo the Goat. Thank you, AP and Armin. No, thank you, Mo the Goat. MT just sent followers away from Matt Tardio. Speak the truth, Armin. Former U.S. Special Forces. Great info on the conflict. Wow. Nice.
Oh.
Ash Mayes AP, Maimonides explicitly endorses the extrajudicial murder of apostates from Judaism. Some fellas in the chat are pretending he doesn't. Very Muslim. I don't know much about that. I can't really argue. I don't really know much about what he ruled and didn't rule. Hyperactive Khamenei's reaction will probably be, they beat me at Fordo. They beat me at Fordo.
You know what? Actually, that might be true because he might be hiding in Fordo because that's the deepest, that's the most secure place in Iran for him right now. So he might actually be down there.
Me in Fordo.
Beat me at Fordo.
Hey, did you see that AI video that they made of Khamenei?
No,
Did you
which
see-
one? Did you see the AI video they made petting a nuclear bomb? The government made.
Oh yeah, I was wondering if that actually came from the government. Like, what the hell was that real government made propaganda?
It was government accounts.
That's so ridiculous.
They were threatening the world by petting a small little nuclear bomb. It was
That's
weird.
ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Okay, I'm trying to find that AI video of
Yeah, I've seen it.
Huh?
People in the chat saying they have seen that petting the bomb.
Okay.
video.
They
What
hear
is that
strong
audio?
language. Sorry for the strong language here, but I just want to watch this video because I think it's very good. I think it's very funny. So
And then I'm like, this baby motherfucker better not blow up by nuclear shit, or I'm gonna go loco on this bitch. And then he blows up all my nuclear shit, and I'm like, call my general. And they tell me, they're all dead, sir. And I'm like, assemble the army. And they're like, they're dead too, sir. So then I'm like, launch the friggin' missiles. And they're like, sir, they're gone, sir. So I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh god, this is great. What?
doesn't
Have you
it
sent
sound
this to me?
doesn't it sound exactly like him?
This is epic. Oh my god. Can you send that to me? I wanna-
I'll send it to you right now.
Thank you. I want to show this on my channel.
It's so ridiculous.
Oh my god, that was beautiful. That was fantastic.
I'll send it to your. I'll just send it to your WhatsApp. Yeah.
Thank you. That was great. Thank you for sharing that.
Gigi Ryder, big love to Redwan and Armin. I don't cry over much, but the expressions of love and heroism going both ways breaks me.
Oh,
wonderful. With the Iranian colors and Israel and US. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I can't wait for the official emoji of the flag of Iran to change. Like, you know how you use the emoji of the flag of Iran in the chat? It shows the Islamic Republic flag.
Mhm.
I can't wait for that officially to turn to the flag with the lion and sun instead.
That would be beautiful. That would be beautiful. I want to ask you about the flag. Now, a few days ago, I made a post when I posted the flag of the true flag of Iran, and said the world will be a better place when the lion rises again. And then I saw some comments say like the crown is missing on the flag. And I saw those comments elsewhere too. Like some people go around and say there should also be a crown on,
No,
the,
no.
on top of that flag.
No.
So
The
what's
flag
that
with the
about?
crown, the flag with the crown, that's the official flag of the Artesh. The official, so it is a legitimate flag, but that's not the flag of Iran. That's the flag of. So if you see a crown behind the lion, above the lion and the sun, that's the official flag of the army of Iran, the Artesh. But the official flag, yeah. So this is the official flag of Iran, without the crown. But what the one with the crown, that's the official flag of the army of Iran's army.
I see.
Iran's,
Nice.
yeah, the royal army.
So I'm
Yeah.
doing it right then. Okay. So this is the right flag.
Yes,
Good.
yes.
Good.
That's the right flag. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm still thinking about that video. It's in my head, man. That BB motherfucker.
So good.
Yosef, a Syrian-born Tehran here. AP, where is the lefties who say free Palestine? Why aren't they saying free Iran now? Yep, that's what I say.
I mean, by the way, guys, whenever people say free Palestine, just agree with them. Just be like, yeah, free Palestine from Hamas, free Palestine from. If you want to free Palestine, then you should support Israel because Israel is freeing Palestine. I mean, I don't. What do you think about this, AP? I've stopped recognizing Palestine as a thing.
Yeah.
I used to say, I just say Gaza or the West Bank. So I say so-called Palestine. I don't recognize Palestine as a thing anymore.
Yeah, I think
What do
that the only possible future solution would be that the entire thing is called Israel, that there's only an Israel, and that everybody living there acknowledges and recognizes Israel as the one country that should be existing there. There's no other thing. Palestine is a region that could be used legitimately at some point, maybe to refer to the regional, to the region,
No,
to
no,
the territory.
the region
but-
has a name. I think we should get rid of the name Palestine as a whole. There's the Gaza and there's the West Bank or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But I think the Palestine, there is no Palestine. I think we should just give up that name.
Israel was the name of the land for the Jews. Jews called it Israel or Land of Israel consistently from ancient times until now, uninterrupted. It is Israel now legitimately. You can refer to it internally as different regions. You can call the West Bank Judea and Samaria. It shouldn't even be called West Bank anymore. There's only Israel, and there's.
And Palestine is in. Oh, yeah, go on. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Continue.
No, Palestine is an imperialist name.
Yeah.
Like if these people are anti-imperialist,
yeah,
then it's the Roman Empire that gave the name the Palestine. It's so far into that place that they can't even pronounce it. They don't like Palestine. You can't even. You don't even have the letters for the sound p in your language. That how much more foreign can it get for you guys? Like it's insane how these people pretend to be anti-imperialist and they basically picked the most imperialist name for that location.
Yeah. It was the Roman Empire that to suppress the Jews called it changed the name from Judea to Syria Palestina, and since then it has been recognized as Syria is the northern part and Palestina the southern part, and this is the colonial imperial name basically on it. So the actual name of the region was Judea or Judea and Israel. That's it. That's the actual name. You should get rid of the imperial colonial name and should recognize the name as it is supposed to be.
Yeah, so we're the true anti-imperialists, actually.
Yep. Israel is actually a decolonization and de-imperialization process. So it's pretty
exactly. Yeah.
Paul, Muslim apologists often justify Quranic violence by pointing out to similar laws in the Old Testament. Thus, they are being true to the word of God. Powerful. They're being retarded. Cheryl R says, no competition. I welcome all supporters of AP, David Wood, and even Atheist Republic.
Even, okay.
Everyone fighting the most obvious demonic prophet followers is all right by me. Wonderful. I appreciate that, Cheryl. Thank you.
No offense to demons.
Demons are terrible. Emil Jenish, Armin, are you planning on getting a government role? Wishing you get your lion flag as a gift for Christmas. I hope so.
No, I want to be. I'm happy YouTubing for the rest of my life.
No, he will. Armin will be appointed as a government official, as a leader in the government of Iran. He will have the flag of Iran on his chest, proudly walking around with it all day long, making laws in Iran. Second to the king. Yeah.
Would you, if Iran becomes free and safe to go, would you want to go with me on a trip to Iran?
Yes.
Yes? Let's go together.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Sounds good. Okay, great.
Let's do it. Planning, promises made. Dehexian, Jeremiah 49, 34, 39 is describing exactly what's happening in Iran right now. King and prince is dead, Elam's might destroyed, and mass diaspora from southwest. Oh, that's why you brought it up. Okay, I'll look into it. Elite team killer EMIMHO. In my honest opinion, when the Palestinians accept Israel's right to exist, they can have a country. This means 2 decades without a single attack on an Israeli. I think you should get rid of the idea of entertaining another country there in this region. It is a failed idea, a failed project. There's one country, Israel. That's all it should be.
Yeah, the opportunity was given, and you should not be entertaining that idea anymore. The two-state solution is a myth.
Especially Israelis need to stop. There are still so many Israelis to this day who say, "Yeah, well, two-state solution, possible." No, man. Stop being stupid. I'm sorry to say this, but stop being so naive. The other side is not remotely as charitable. Stop. Your favorite.
And even if they become,
good.
Also, let's just entertain the idea that, let's say things change, and you could see the ideas in that region changing enough for you to have a neighbor called Palestine that you could have like as a safe neighbor. The problem is that how long is that going to last? You basically created an Islamic Republic that at some point could turn against you again.
Yeah,
it's irresponsible to Israelis to take that risk,
especially given the fact that, according to all polls, the majority of the so-called Palestinians, even if they agree to a two-state solution, the majority of them agrees that this is only a temporary measure, that eventually they should get all of the land for themselves. Polls have repeatedly shown that. Why would you trust them? And I know that Elite Team Killer says counter Palestinian Israel equals danger to Israelis. I know that's what you say. So some people say, but if we just make them all citizens of the country, then this means suicide because there will be higher number and so on. Well, I'm sorry, but there is just one. There's another solution to this, which is to somehow figure out a possible solution to safely and humanely transfer those who don't want to live with you with the exception with the acceptance of an Israeli state. Transfer them to a different place. I'm sorry, there's just no other solution.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I completely agree.
The Iranian prince sounds like a good guy. He does. He's based. Ashmeyer says, tag you in YT post with source from Maimonides. I'll check it out. Ash, check it out. All right, Armin, anything else you want to say? By the way, everybody check out Armin's channel. So check it out. Sorry. I put it in the description, but you can follow Atheist Republic right there. I also tagged the channel in the description as said. So go and check it out to get more updates from Armin and his team, especially about Iran and other things right now. Armin also, so we just played here on this channel, on this live stream, we played some of the clips that were sent, but Armin actually played all of the clips that he received so far, I believe, on his own, on the Atheist Republic channel, which is over here, and on a live stream that he had earlier today. So check it out. You can watch more there. And Armin will have more updates on this kind of stuff there as well. So Atheist Republic, there it is.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And anything else
you want? All those extra numbers. Oh no, I just want to thank you for always, at key moments in you're always there, AP. You know that, like, every time we need you the most, the Iranian people need you the most. Your channel always comes and highlights what needs to be highlighted every time, every single time. You were always there when the Iranian people needed more exposure, more attention. Your channel never failed to give the attention that they needed. So I just wanted to thank you for that.
You're gonna make me cry, man.
Oh.
It's an honor and a great pleasure, and I hope to see the Iranian people free, and I hope to see this beautiful nation get back to its former glory. Hope to see the Islamic regime gone. You have all my support, and I hope this succeeds, and I will be there as much as needed. Thank you so much, Armin, for joining me. We'll continue. I'll probably, if you're available, I want to invite you to tomorrow again. I think Goldie will be live tomorrow with us, so you should join as well. This would be a very good collaboration. And
Sounds good. Sounds good. Count me in.
Yeah, awesome,
Fantastic.
awesome.
So, okay.
All right. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for watching, and as always, as the goat says, which translates to the following words:
Stay away from Islam.
Yeah.